Hello guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday. We are the Shadow Legends Assemble crew. This is going to be episode 1 of the weekly podcast. I'm the Saffronman. I've been playing the game for about a year and a half, and the purpose of this podcast is just to be that helpful community tool each week for you guys. And yeah, so here we are. I started collecting saffron items in Rocket League a little while ago. I've been playing Raid for quite a while, and we've just gone from strength to strength. I've got a couple of clans. We've got Discord running with about 250 people, and you guys have just been amazing while I've been streaming for these past 3 months. But today, for this podcast, I've got a few people here with me tonight. So let me just introduce who we have here starting off. So John, you are literally the first person that said yes to this podcast. Thank you very much. How are you doing, sir?
Happy to. I'm doing fine. You know, when you first invited me to this podcast, I was very intrigued because podcasts, I've never understood them, but when I started listening to some of them, I think they're genius. It's like radio, except you have no super big advert commercials in between. So I really enjoy that.
Right, nice. So yeah, but you've been on YouTube for 3+ years, right? You've broadcasted several games throughout your Twitch career. You've got to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I can say a little bit about that. So yeah, I started in Norway. We actually celebrate Christmas the 24th of December instead of the 25th. So my first video was actually 24th of December 2016,
right.
And I was kind of bored, and I played a game called League of Angels 2 back in the day, and I asked. I was super excited about the game and the PvP in it, and I asked someone in the chat there, "Hey, should I record this?" And they said yes. So I just decided to record that, and the rest is kind of history from there. I went all from League of Angels 1, League of Angels 2, League of Angels 3,
right.
League of Angels Paradise. I was heavy into that game. And I've done a lot of things throughout the years, but the most successful game I've ever done is Rachel Legends. I have no idea how that happened, but I'm very appreciative of everyone tuning into that.
So when did you start with Raid? Was you in at the beginning, in the middle, when they started going with the marketing?
My first video was, I think, 1 or 2 days after I played it. I actually played it a little bit off camera first, like a day or two.
Right.
I think my first Rachel Legends video was the 28th of March last year.
Yeah.
So I'm approaching in a week 1 year anniversary of this game on YouTube, I think. So I've done it not since the very beginning of the game, but at least somewhat early on, at least the YouTube side of things on this game.
Right. And you're also a moderator as well, right?
Yeah, I am. I have no idea why I am, but I am. I do help people if they direct message me, but I'm not active in the forums or the chat. I just people can contact me and ask me questions, and I will send a ticket for them, and I will help people. Probably I have contacts there, so I can really help people.
Right.
But I don't hang around in the chat, but I obviously answer people who have inquiries, and I can help them.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming in today, and thanks for being a mod and helping out when you do. Yeah, it's great to have you, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. So the next person on our lovely little cast here is HELLHADES. Now, buddy, I hear you've got yourself a brand new PC.
I have. It's super exciting. You know what? Before this podcast, I've been playing the new Call of Duty,
right?
Warzone. I've been playing League of Legends. It's been running like a dream.
You can render at the same time as well, right?
I know.
Whoa, that requires a dedicated PC right there to render and play that game.
Seriously, I don't know if you guys ever caught the video I did with Cold Brew recently, but I sound like the devil because my system couldn't handle me talking to somebody at the same time as recording, and basically slowed down all of my system, and I just hello. It's pretty bad, but no, I'm super excited, man. It's really cool, actually.
Yeah, great. I swear, your name has been around on YouTube for longer than 4 months, it seems. But I looked back to your longest video, and it is just the 4 months. Is that right?
Yeah, 4 months.
It's not a typo.
No, I was chatting to Stu 4 months ago, and I was like, I feel like I want to do this. Right. And he said to me, just go for it. And I was like, well, all right then. So it took me then another 4 days to pluck up the courage to actually make a video. And yeah, basically since then.
What a 4 months you must have had, sir. Honestly.
Yeah, It's been really cool, actually. Really good fun. And I've been totally shocked by how well people have received it, to be fair. So yeah,
Right.
It's been really cool.
Well, you're thought of very highly in my little community, buddy. So thank you very much for jumping in tonight. And yeah, it's great to have you, man.
Thanks.
And basically, and the last person we have with us today right now is Mr. Stewgaming. Now, HELLHADES just mentioned he probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Stew, and Stew's shown support to me as well. I probably wouldn't be here either if it wasn't for Stew. So Stew's pretty much created this without even knowing, really. But Stew, like you're the man in Raid, buddy. You've been ever helpful to many people. How are you doing, man?
He's
Thanks
the
for being
master.
here. Exactly.
Hey,
yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing great. It is Sunday morning, very early, 7 a.m. here.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to hang out with you guys, talk about gaming, whatever we want to talk about. It's just a fun time for me. So, thank you.
That's all good. But you started off on games like Marvel Strike Force and Overhit and stuff like that a year ago. Like, what drew you to Raid?
Raid Shadow. It just came out and the graphics were so nice. It was just, I love turn-based gotcha games like this. I started playing it, fell in love, and that's when I started. After I started playing Raid, I started doing YouTube because I'm over here in Japan and I don't have a lot of people to talk to.
Right.
It gave me a way to communicate with my community on Discord and just grow it.
Yep.
Really good times for me. That way I could, otherwise I don't even speak. I speak, of course, I talk to my family, but other than that, I didn't talk to anybody else. So really gave me a good outlet to get in touch with people and build that online community.
Well, nice, man. Well, you've definitely done your bit for this community. So thanks very much for being here tonight and everything you've done so far. And so it's great. Let's kind of get stuck into it, really. So basically, this first episode, we're just going to introduce ourselves, right? But in the rest of the episode, we're going to be talking about the history of Polarium, the content that they've released over the past year or so, the fusions and Silly and the Lucky, possible fusion pairings, events and tournaments, and we're going to try and end things with patch 1.14 if time is depending. But so everyone's got an origin story, chaps. So if we could just basically take it in turns and each person would like to discuss their history with the game, if we can mention the first champion that you picked out the 4, and maybe your first 60, your first legend pulled. How long did it take you to get that? Did you get it on day 1 or something? Some people get Ignatius on day 1 and that. Oh,
Unfair.
That really gets me. But yeah, how long did it take you to get that logo? Your first biggest mistakes, misfed champs. I, for example, was playing so early. There was no YouTubers, no Reddit or anything like that. I fed an apothecary on day 3 and never saw another one for over a year. So yeah, that hurt. So that was one of my biggest mistakes. Things you could possibly still improve on, and favorite champs and team maybe. Who would like to kick us off?
I can if you want to.
Go for it, John. Let's go.
So the first champion I picked was Kale.
Okay, lucky boy.
Yeah. Because from my earlier experiences as games, mages has always been overpowered, and this time I wanted to be overpowered, or I wanted to be strong.
Right.
So I chose Kale, and I got some nice lifesteal stuff on him, and he actually was quite awesome. I do not regret having Kale as my first hero, because I genuinely think he may be one of the best starter heroes out of how I experienced it, at least.
Did you do any research beforehand?
Research? No, I didn't know. I did not.
You just got lucky and picked Kale.
Yeah, I just picked Kale, man.
Okay.
That's really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't regret it at all. It was purely because I thought that mages was good in other games. Because in previously in other games I've chosen rangers, which would be Elhain in this case, and they've sucked. So yeah, I'm happy I chose Kale.
I bet when you started though, John, there wasn't anything to research, was there? When I started, there was nothing to research to find that stuff out.
Yeah, I saw maybe one other YouTuber with 20 views, a very, very, very small content creator on YouTube on this game. I didn't see anyone else when I actually first started. So I think I was one of the earlier ones, as far as I know, but I didn't research, so yeah, I didn't research enough, so I wouldn't really know if many other people did it.
When was that? How long ago was that?
It was 28th of March, 2019.
So that was when Polarium just started the marketing campaign on YouTube, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, no, they didn't do much, but they didn't have a YouTube. I think they just had gotten their YouTube program or whatever, their YouTube person in their Discord and stuff at that time. It was very new.
Right.
That was beta. That was their beta opening well before global release.
Yeah. Yeah. They were in beta a long time. People, like, there's a year-long anniversary going on right now. And I swear that wasn't when it got officially released. I swear, like, that was during the summer. So I was like...
The game has been out to the market where people could actually pay money and buy things for almost 2 years now.
Right.
Not a year.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's longer than I have been around.
Yeah.
But I think the entire YouTube I think the entire YouTube thing was a little bit late. But that's typically how it is with games. Like, YouTube doesn't get big like the first week of a game unless it's like a proper game. Like, well, not saying mobile games isn't proper, but like
it's PC now, John. It's PC now. There you go.
Yeah, PC and stuff. Anyway, the first level 60 I got was, I think, Kale. To be honest, I think Kale was my first level 60. I think I stuck through.
Smart.
And then,
nice.
And then after that, I actually I farmed what is it? 12-3, isn't it? Like the campaign 12-3.
Right.
Isn't that? Yeah. I farmed it in around 25 seconds, and people were like, "How do I do that?" So I made a Kale video, and that actually was quite successful. So I'm very happy about that.
Nice.
The first legendary I pulled was Tomb Lord.
Oh my gosh.
I was not happy with him in the beginning. In the beginning, I thought he sucked because I looked at the in-game ratings and he had like 2.3. He had the lowest ratings of like any legendary that I saw at the time.
Right.
So I was so disappointed. I was never about to feed him, but sometimes I thought about it, but I never did it. But I would have been upset now. Yeah, I'm not upset now that I did. If I fed him, I would have regretted it.
Oh yeah.
Because I did. So he's a great legendary. He's very good, and I like him.
Now, did you get him like on day one, or did you have to wait a couple of months till you got him?
I got him probably within the first week. I imagine something like that. Okay. The first 2 weeks, maybe. I don't recall exactly. I have it all. I have my entire experience essentially recorded on YouTube, so I could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely I got him quite early on, and it was a long time until I got the next legendary. I don't even remember. I don't remember. Maybe Ray was my next legendary. I don't remember. It's such a long time ago.
And you didn't feed Tomb Lord, which is a good thing. So who did you feed?
Would have sucked.
You must have fed someone.
Yeah, I have fed Cold Hearts.
Oh.
I have fed Painkeepers.
Right.
I have fed whom else have I fed? I have fed Cold Hearts, Painkeepers. I have not fed. I fed a Ghostborn as well.
Oh my gosh! Why?
I do have a Ghostborn. I fed them to skill the other one, but I heard later that I kept both of them.
2 words, John. Faction Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know. It was before Faction
Oh,
Wars.
still. Yeah, it's all good.
I think no. I have not fed any raw shards. I do have 2 of those.
Right.
I think the biggest no was to feed the Ghostborn. I kind of regret doing that. And obviously Hegemon, but that was because of drama we don't have to talk about. So.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
That's a no right there.
Moving on. Things you can still improve on, John.
Okay, things they can still improve on. Favorite champs team. Okay, things I can still improve on, I guess that means, right?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, could you figure out your gear better? Could you be doing faction wars better? Should you be pushing arena? Could you be getting more damage in clan boss? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely can. My friend, who's currently so kind to help pilot my account, he's been farming Dragon a lot. And I really all I need is a lot of speed and accuracy and resistance. Obviously, the rest of the stats is quite important, especially for hitters and otters. But I think if you have a very good speed team, I think you can do well with Rotos, because Rotos is absolutely crazy.
Good fun.
I played on an account, a late game account the other day, and Rotos dealt like 170k damage to one of the heroes, and I was like, what the heck?
Right.
So yeah,
I've got one of those.
Yeah. I think that my favorite champion is Tormin, because Tormin is just I know people have ways of breaking Tormin if they have immune to debuffs, and such. But Tormund in general has screwed me over so many times. He has to probably be my favorite hero because of that.
Well, we're going to probably jump into Tormund a little bit later on when we talk about fusions, but you might not be here for that topic because you're only here for the first hour. So would you like to have your impression on Tormund while you're here right now? Was he absolutely broken when he came out? Did Plarium sort of mention too quickly that they were going to change him? Did that nerf, was it overkill? Was it too much? Is he still fun as a character, is what I'm trying to say.
I think he is really fun, as you can also, as people can see as well in Platinum Arena. He's quite common there.
Right. And
he is also quite, I see him everywhere. Whenever I refresh and high gold, he's everywhere. So he's definitely still a very usable hero.
Right.
And he's just a great hero overall. And his freezing he's just very good. I don't know, like he was definitely a good addition to the game.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely made people have to think a little bit more about different combinations. Right. And it's quite fun to have a game to where you have multiple team compilations instead of you see the top 100 players with the exact same heroes. Then it would be like it's kind of cool that you can have variety and you can do well with variety. And I think he can be an addition to attribution to making that variety a reality.
Okay, so yeah, I think he's good fun. I think he was a bit too much when he came out, but yeah, I mean, we'll dig into him later. But yeah, thanks a lot for your introduction, man. It's good stuff. We could literally talk about this guy for 2 hours, but we'll move on. We'll let Stu wake up for a couple of extra minutes. So HELLHADES, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, like, what's your origin story of the game, man?
Yeah, so I started back in April, so actually I wasn't that far different from John, to be fair.
Right. A lot of people joined at that time, like, Chosen, obviously, a lot of people joined during that marketing time, yeah.
Well, I guess, I was just sucked in. I saw it on, I guess it was Facebook, some sort of advertising. I saw it a number of times, actually, and I was like, nah, probably not for me. Right. I didn't really play a lot of mobile games. I was mainly a PC gamer.
Yeah.
And I played Clash of Clans, basically. Clash of Clans. And yeah, pretty much what I did was, because I was commuting to work on trains, I was like, well, I do need another game that I can just play while I'm commuting. So I picked up Raid, and yeah, I guess I didn't look back, but I do go quite hard when I start a game out. I do go pretty hard. So I invested in a couple of the early packs, which meant I did pull a legendary within a week, probably within a couple of days. I got myself a Prince Kaimar.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's an interesting first legend,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, there was not really that much information about this game anywhere. So, I mean, I actually watched quite a lot of Incredible John's early stuff.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Chosen maybe was about, but not. Maybe it was just kind of starting, but there wasn't really anything. So. I had no idea if it was a good legendary. I didn't know anything really about the game. But obviously a legendary hero, you're just going to rank him up anyway because it's the best you think you've got.
Right.
So I had him. I started with a Kale. So again, I was fortunate.
Dear.
But I think for me, so I played a lot of World of Warcraft, League of Legends.
So why, if you're playing all these games, how did Galak not come into your mind? Like, I'm a Galak fan. I picked Galak. How did you not go for Galak? Yeah.
Well, because when I'm playing World of Warcraft, I'm literally like the little gnome mage. That was my character, and I was like, well, Kale's a mage. I kind of understand what he's all about.
Okay, all right.
So that's kind of where I went with that one.
All right.
That's all. Like, Kale is the best. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So was Kale your first 60, or did you go with Kaimar? Do you think?
No. Well, actually. Again, in that first week, I also pulled myself a skull crown.
Oh, dear.
So I literally had like a disgusting first setup of teams, and Skull Crown did everything for me. So she was actually my first 60.
Yeah.
She was my farming champion. She was my arena goddess.
Right.
So if you think about it, I had Skull Crown, Kaimar, Kale. My early game arena was just like Nuke City.
Yeah.
So I had a really good start to the game, which obviously helps.
Yeah.
And I've since actually, a few people said, why don't you go free to play on an account? I've tried it, and it's really hard.
Yes,
it's
mate.
Really
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's really tough, and obviously, if you don't pull a couple of those champions, it's really hard.
I've got an ult in one of my clans right now, and it's just so tough. I can't do it. I can't free to play it anymore. It's an ult. I can't do it. It's tough.
Yeah, I did a failed free to play series. It didn't survive for too long.
No.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of your time as well, doesn't it? But yeah, but I did do it. But but I had quite an enjoyable sort of start to the game, and again, I never really thought I would be playing the game a year on.
Right.
I definitely didn't ever think I'd be doing content on the game and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been good fun actually, and the community's so cool. That's the best thing for me, is it's just got a really great community in this game.
Yeah. I think that's down to the content creators as well, right? I mean, there's so many like chilled out and helpful people within this community, and that just bleeds along onto everyone else. You know, it's just it's infectious, that kind of goodwill, and I think we're kind of lucky as a mobile gaming community to have so many helpful people within that. And so I mean, it's great. It's great to have. The community is very special, absolutely, which is why we're all here as well, right? So I mean, okay, so your first mistakes, I am dying to hear some of your mistakes. The HELLHADES making mistakes early game.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah, it did happen. So I did feed myself a steel skull pretty early.
Right.
Just because I was like, this guy doesn't do any damage.
Yeah.
Like, what use is he to me? And he was one I look back on, because as I started to then understand the game better, I was like, hold on a minute, we've got someone who's actually really quality here. And I didn't get him for a long, long time after that as well.
Right.
So I was literally rolling with my Kale for a long time as my main poisoner. What else have I done? I mean, I fed some legendaries, but normally as books. I've not really like chewed on a legendary just for the sake of it.
You can use it for experience. I hear they're a great experience.
Yeah. I don't think I've done anything else too crazy. No, I don't think so. Maybe some of the early stuff that I did was probably join clans and then stayed with clans that just didn't progress. So, and I'm super competitive, right? So, as I'm moving up and absolutely accelerating my account, the rest of the guys around me weren't really doing that. So I did stay with some early clans that I probably should have just moved on from. And I got quite lucky, actually. I fell in with a group which originally were called Channel 9. They've moved to Channel 333, but really good guys.
I remember those days. Oh,
yeah, really good guys. And they absolutely sort of helped me get my account on track.
Right.
I'd say probably the most recent thing that I've done, which is a bit of a fail, is I've lost the last two challenges to Stu.
It's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
So those that don't know, it's tied at 2-2 right now. So it's pretty tense. I'm going to try and keep them apart for the rest of the podcast.
I don't know the backstory of this. Have they fought each other?
Who wants to explain that? One of you two want to jump in there?
Let's Stu go. He's got his victory parade at the minute.
Yeah.
UFC challenge. No, we wanted something fun to do so we could get involved with the community, and just something to do also within the game that's a little different than what we normally do for our videos. So we wanted to start doing a challenge, and it's just been a lot of fun because we put criteria in there to make a certain teams to do. Like our last one was all rare team, Dragons 20. We couldn't have any Cold Hearts, and I can't remember anything else, Bellower, Apothecary, and whoever could do the fastest run, right? The fastest speed time in Dragons 20 without those champions,
right? And
all rare team. And it's been fun. So we do things like that, and we do it every week on a Saturday, just to so throughout the week it gives me something to work on, right? I get to try to put these champions together, run them through some certain scenarios, see what I can do to increase the time, wondering if I'm going to be able to win. You know, all the pressure is on us.
That's kind of awesome though, because then you learn more about the champions than you previously did, and more about combinations to make it as quick as possible. So you kind of learn more about the game while you're having fun.
Just about to say, while you're having fun, right? You're learning whilst having fun, and that's great. And yeah, I mean, I'll take it. Those numbers have taken off. I think lots of people are interested in that series, right?
Yeah, they love watching it. People do.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun, and there's been a lot of people just generally in the sort of comments that are coming out with different ideas for us, and that's what you want, isn't it? You want people to engage with it and actually say, right. I think the next step is actually we want people to try and do it alongside us.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool if they're coming to the party and saying, actually, this is the speed that I've got, or this is a team that I'm running. But definitely within my Discord, the guys literally get together and it's like, how do we try and unlock this puzzle? What champions have you got available? What combinations should we suggest? So it's really a bit of a there's a bit of a community buzz going, which is cool.
Did you both end up using Frozen Banshee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's right. That's just like one question. Yeah, that was it.
We used Kale and Frozen Banshee, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. There's
wow.
lots of chat about Frozen Banshee lately since the buff, and yeah, lots of people are using it at the moment and getting different results. But yeah, that was just my first thought that you're both using Frozen Banshee. But yeah. So Hades, like things you can still improve on, sir, and your favorite champs and team or champion team. Yeah.
So, I mean, I could definitely still improve on my arena setup. So, although I'm pretty well into the arena, I don't end up sort of plat every week and that type of thing. So there's still some work to be done there. It's actually, funny enough, it's just finding the time to focus on these things and having enough silver to really chunk into it, because you get from the point of, well, I can get myself into plat, but actually you're really now at that point where you're min-maxing gear, you're absolutely trying to push the most out of your champions, and that's costly in this game to do that. So that's definitely an area that I can improve on. Obviously, my times against Stu are not quick enough, so there's an area to improve on. In terms of favourite champions, so I absolutely love Ultan in this game. It's a really fun champ. Really, he's actually super fun in the arena. He can swing battles. I think before the kind of Tormund change came in, and now obviously Rota's coming in as well, Ultan was a really great go-to for me because I had quite a defensive-based PvP setup, which was quite different from how the meta was playing out. So I bring Ultan in, and he could change a battle by rezzing somebody and absolutely slamming people for over 100k. I made some really fun videos actually doing that sort of stuff.
Oh mate, I've wanted an Ultan for so long, man.
Yeah, he's super fun, and obviously when you kill someone with an Ultan, he brings someone else up.
Right.
So you get like a double prize basically. You nuke somebody down and you reverse it by getting someone else up off the floor.
Kind of like Rain Beast used to, something like that. Didn't Rain Beast do that? Rain Beast was like OP when he first came out. They've nerfed him like 2 or 3 times since. But when he first came out, he could heal someone else. I'm pretty sure he rezzed someone. Did he not? I could be wrong. It's a long
I don't know
time
if he
ago,
rezzed, but he was a one-man show. He could definitely sort of heal people up and absolutely like nuke a whole team.
Right.
He was well overtuned. Sorry, I forgot what else we were talking about.
So you had literally reached the end of your origin story, buddy. So yeah, we got we got the favourite champs and teams. So Stu, last but not least, sir, explain to us, how did you get into Raid, and what was your beginning of Raid like?
You guys sound like old timers. I started a little after Global, and it sounds like you guys were back when. I think I started at the end. It was the very, very end of the Shamrock Fusion, right after Global, a week into Global or so. I think Shamrock was winding down. There was only a few days left. They had extended it for some reason, and I wasn't able to participate in it. I just was, too new to be able to try to go for that fusion. And then if you guys were around to get a Sir Nick, you were really...
I don't want to get into that just yet.
I wasn't in before the Shamrock Fusion. No, I think I might have been after you, Stu. Actually,
were you? Okay, so it was after Global then.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been. So I think mine was like April last year, but Shamrock had already happened for sure.
Right. Oh, I thought you guys were in before. Okay.
So I was in November, December 2018. So that was just before the Sir Nick Fusion. But I was so noob. I had no clue the fusion was in the shard section. I was like, I had no clue.
You didn't know how to find it.
I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know. And there's like, they mentioned it in the news bulletin come up and said, last week of Sir Nick or something. I was like, what? And then I found out, I was like, oh, you joke. Yeah, so I missed out because I was a complete noob. But yeah, I was 2018
like you said,
really.
Nobody was doing videos on it, so you wouldn't even know to go look there.
That's why Apothecary got fed. Yep.
Open beta.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I started. I think I picked. Who did I pick? Aethel. I'm pretty sure I picked Aethel. There was, there were some things out there back then. Her weaken used to affect poison. It would make poison stronger. It would make burn stronger.
Right.
So I picked her, and then later on, I did realize I needed a Kale, but I was able to get a Kale as well. I think I had all the starting champions not too long after I started. Wasn't too far into that, and I leveled up. The process of going through there and going through the game, it was challenging, it was fun, but I'm used to playing turn-based gacha games like this, so I knew to save everything. I've played Summoner's Wars for over 3 years. I played many other gacha games like this, so I knew to save every single copy of everything, like literally everything. So that's what my whole goal was, to make sure I save a copy of anything that I found.
Right.
And it works out. You know,
that's
you
a
guys
good mindset.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the percentage is so low that you never know if you'll see that champion again. You really never know that.
Some people learn that the hard way, you know.
Yeah. Epics. Yeah, I've had many epics.
Right.
Yeah.
See, now if you guys play another game, you know you will never take a legendary or epic and eat it or feed it, and you'll probably keep 2, because you know how these games are. A lot of times 2 can be really handy later on down the road, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I kept everything, but my first real gem, I think, was getting Doom Priest. For some reason, you know, I brought her into dragons, and she would just take away the stun, the poisons, and everything, and it made dragons. I felt like I was cheating. Basically.
Doom Priest. So I got her leveled up, and I never really found a use for it. I think I used her as the affinity tank in Spider 19. But that was about it, pretty much.
So is it?
Yeah.
Well, back when we only had stage 15 of the dungeons, right? So it really wasn't too difficult.
Right.
But when when you're coming up, it was pretty hard. So she gave me the advantage to be able to get through and get. When I got to the dragon, the dragon was much easier to beat. So it really helped me out. And then later on, you guys probably aren't gonna like this, but later on, I pulled a Bad Alcazar and a Martyr.
Well, how soon are we talking?
Nice.
How soon are we talking?
I guess probably after about a month of playing.
Okay.
Around the 3-week to 4-week mark, I pulled a Bad Al, and then a week later, I pulled a Martyr.
Right.
So,
were you totally wailing out, Stu, or just got lucky, or what?
I wasn't really wailing out that hard. You know,
just wailing a little bit, just a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I would get a $100 pack maybe every week or so. It wasn't something I was dropping, tons of money on like I would nowadays to try to make content and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got really lucky. The ones I got, because I knew when I got those 2 how powerful they were. By then, I'd already known. I've already done tons of research, looked through it all. I knew that when I got these guys that it was game over. That it was just basically together. Like on their own, they hold their own just fine, especially for progression going up. Stage 15 was the highest we had back then for dungeons, even for Dragon. Dragons 15 was max.
Yep.
Super easy, like very easy. But I'd already accomplished coming up to 15, so I don't feel like I cheated as bad. Like I wasn't necessarily running 100% 15 runs at the time, but I was there. I could see clearly what I needed to do, get the gear, get there. But once I had them, it was easy. I just put on some whatever gear. It didn't matter. It could be trash. And I blew through it. I blew through it all.
Did you get to Dragon 20 rather quick when it came out?
Well, when Dragon 20 came out, I was actually ready. I've been complaining forever that, hey, why are we at 15 with only 4 to 5 star gear? They didn't even have 6-star gear in the game. So I wasn't doing YouTube then. And Marius was a community manager back then, really our only kind of contact. And I would bombard him with hateful things all the time, saying, hey man, what's going on with this game? This crappy game. You guys are saying that 6-star artifacts are in here. I'm not going to spend money to grind every day, because to me, the grind for the game, for the artifacts, is really the end game. Once you grab those champions, artifact grinding is what keeps you playing the game every day. Going in there, re-rolling those substats,
artifacts, Great Hall, and
going through there with the PvP, right? And then if you don't roll the good substats, you throw that gear away and you go back to the grind. I mean, that's what I've done in Summoners Wars, Epic 7, all the tons of other ones that I've played. You just grind it out, and that gives me the drive to keep playing the game. But they didn't have it in the game, so I was like, I'm not going to sit here and try to farm for 5-star when I know at any day you guys are going to bring in 6-star.
Yep. So
get to it. Get me this 6-star gear in here. What the hell's going on? So he heard from me quite a lot.
So that was in there since day one, since the early beta, like 4 to 6-star on stage 13, 14, and 15. That never changed. That was always 4 to 6. So we had about 6, maybe 7 months of no 6-star gear or legendary while that was there. So we never knew when that was coming until they said 2 weeks from time. Yeah, it's coming, pretty much.
Right. Typical Polarium. You know, you just don't know what's going on. Why is it wrong in the game? Because then everybody else was asking too. They were like, "Hey, where's this? How come I'm not getting any 6-star drops?"
Yeah, and I just don't know why they want to keep the secrecy to let people know very shortly before, because then people can prepare. You can have someone spend like 5,000 energy 1 week before it arrives.
Situations like the roadmap happens, right? They try and be transparent. That was literally a year ago, pretty much, when they first announced that. And that we know how that kind of happened. But yeah, I'm sure that's why they're not as transparent at the moment. pretty much.
Was it a year ago that they said the roadmap was coming? They showed us the roadmap?
I'm pretty sure.
Figure it out very easily.
Yeah, it was leaked first, and then like it was officially put out a few months later. But it was out there. Wow. So back to your origin story, really. So we got kind of sidetracked there. So you got your first Legos pulled in being, was it Marta and
Bad Alcazar?
Bad Alcazar.
It was 29th. It was this July 29th, 2019.
Right. That was when they officially released it, right?
Yeah, I think a few days before, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on Reddit beforehand, like most things are. But,
yeah.
But yeah, so how long it took you? Like you say, a couple of weeks. Your first month, you got those legends. What was Stu Gaming's first big mistakes in the game? Any misfed champs? Any characters just really badly geared? Like, what happened there, Stu?
No misfed champs, but I will tell you my biggest regret in the beginning of the game was leveling up Cold Heart to 60, probably as my 4th 60 or
Too early. Yeah.
Too early, too early. Yeah, I wasn't at the end game enough. I didn't have gear enough. I didn't have the support enough for her to blow through the waves. You know, if you can go through there faster and kill everything, they can't hit you back. You don't have to worry about it. Right. I couldn't accomplish that, so I knew how good Cold Heart was, but I definitely leveled her up too quickly. And then when I got there, she sat in the bench forever. She
needs teammates as well, right? It's not just her on her own. She does need people around her to be truly effective, you know.
Right. She needs support to make sure that she doesn't get killed.
Right.
And nowadays we have more support in the game. We have a lot more champions that have shared damage, a lot of ways that you can take her through there and do a better job with her. But definitely in the beginning, most people, and probably 99% of the people, will not have the gear to make her your 4th or 5th, 6th star. And the support, they're not going through there fast enough. They might not have the Great Hall built up a little bit for even smallest things like accuracy, because at that time I was still hunting for, how hard it is in spiders to get the rings and accessories that you need that could drop for whatever faction. And so that was really my only regret. I knew she was good. I leveled her up too early, and then forever she just sat there until the day that I was able to, bring her off the bench and just do amazing things with her.
Yeah.
But that was it. I didn't eat any champion. I didn't feed any. Like I said, I kept any legendary I kept multiple copies. And it's what I've done in all these games I played. So I knew, just like you guys now, if you guys ever play a new gacha game, you will never feed a legendary on that.
gotta keep those copies just in case.
Can we have a heartfelt emotion for all the people that fed Dracomorph when he was bad?
Oh god!
Oh my god!
So when Dracomorph was bad, chat, right? He was literally one of the worst legends in the game, and then literally one day later, he was like one of the best, most sought after characters to this day. And all those people that must have crunched him, oh jeez, and that's why you don't do it.
In the beginning, when I first saw Alton, I actually thought Alton was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great champion, and they've improved him. They've improved him, but he is a phenomenal champion. And he looks really cool too. I have 3 of him, and I got one of him pretty early on as well. So I've had him for quite a while.
Nice.
I've just been leveling up my Mashalad actually.
Okay.
God.
Getting ready.
In hopes for the next patch.
Nice.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so just to sort of something that's basically our origin stories. I'll just go through mine like real quick. So my first champion picked out the 4 was Gallic. Like he looked badass. He looked like Blanca out Street Fighter. He looked like he's gonna whip anyone else in that team's. So I was like, yeah, Gallic is mine. I literally had Gallic farming the campaign for like well over a year. And then I got Bellower, and it took me a few months to get him up and running. But yeah, Gallic was the man in everything for me for so long. He was my first 60. My first Lego pulled, so obviously back then we had no market, as in we had no deals come up each day. We had... no 6-star gear, we couldn't buy mastery, so all of that had to be grind up. We had no legendary gear, and so I had to wait 4 or 5 months to get my first legendary, and that was Blood Gorged. And he wasn't very good either back then, and he's only just been buffed, but I used him, I booked him up, I made him work, and he did work a little bit in arena, but really, he wasn't amazing back then. Yeah, that took me quite a while. I have so many mistakes. So obviously feeding Apothecary when I did was just such a big mistake. Like, and to go without another Apothecary, to literally go through like for 20,000 or so mystery shards and God knows how many ancients, and I'd not get another one for over a year. And believe it or not, it was after, because he was in the Rotos fusion, right? And I did the grind for Apothecary, and then I got him in like the next mystery shard. Like I was kind of crying at that point. But yeah, that was painful.
So you did the grind for Apothecary just recently for Rotos, and then you got him right then.
Yeah, then I got Apothecary on the shard after, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow, you really did not get an Apothecary for a long time.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
My whole Discord decided to have a good old giggle at that. That was they enjoyed that day. And my favourite champs and team, honestly, Rotos is just so fun. Like he's one of the characters that I've done well at building up as well. And yeah, he's just unbelievable. I don't think he's broken like Tormin was. I think he's manageable. It's all about that RNG, right? If he gets like 13 extra turns, it's game over. But if he doesn't, then I'm not talking about Mr.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I feel like
I've seen him do
myself.
Really?
Oh, I feel like he's absolutely busted. Yeah.
They add too much into. I guess we'll talk about this later or whatever. But yeah, they seem to add too much into some of these champions. Like he's right. He's just all you got to do is remove one little component and he'd be good. But they just keep adding and adding instead of splitting it up into other champions.
Well, when I got the Tormin fusion, like most people, because it was broke, but because they said so quick that they were going to nerf him, I leveled him to 16 Ascendant. I didn't really use him in Arena until I knew what the nerf was going to be. So Rotos is probably one of the best legends that I've fused that I've actually got practical use out of. He's hard my Ice Golem team. He's really good in Arena. And yeah, I think I just got a bit lucky in his build. He could be broken, I don't know. But for me, he's really fun. And I think Tormin was more so. But we can jump into that anyway. So first sort of topic of the evening, pretty much. We've introduced ourselves, where we come from, why we're here, like what we're up to. So the history of Plarium over the last year and a half since we've all been playing. I've heard some people that the content isn't enough within the game and there isn't enough introduced. I would just like to go over what has been introduced in about 8 to 12 months of beta and about another 7 or so months of actually being released. So we've had Faction Wars, Platinum Arena, and they've just added the new loot system. Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss wasn't a thing when I started, so they've introduced that. 6-star gear and 6-star legendary gear, and legendary gear in general. Dungeons got upgraded to 15 to 20. We've had several login systems now, and we've just got the new Battle Pass introduced. I'm sure there's a couple of things in there which I've missed out on. But overall, guys, at the start of Hades, since we've kind of shut you up for the last 20 minutes. What is that enough content throughout the year? Did anything take your fancy? Was you excited? When did you sort of join in with those things coming in?
So I think when I first joined the game, this is the perspective that you need to look at this from. So for a long-term player like all of us, actually, it feels like we are due more content. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. However, for people coming into this game, there's actually a lot of stuff to do. Yeah. And I think that's the balance, which is a little bit warped, because we're starved of content right now because we played the game for a long time. But actually, if you're new to the game, there's a lot of stuff. But for me, what needs to happen is I feel like we need a content drop about now, and it needs to actually be content rather than just stuff to buy in the game. Yep. So some of the things you've said, though, like Battle Pass, is actually... It's a great introduction to the game. It's actually the best value thing that they've added to this game by a country mile.
I agree, yeah.
Right.
But it's not content.
Right,
and that's
exactly.
And the last 2 patches have not been content. They've been tweaks to bug fixes. They've been, things that you can purchase that enhance the game. Yes, but they're not bringing us anything new to do. And that's, for me, that's what's missing. And when I've gone and played other gotcha games, and I play other games anyway, but I feel like other games are already a step ahead in some of these areas, and really Plarium needs to kind of catch up.
They're so far ahead.
Yeah, yeah. But look, I still enjoy the game, which is why I'm still here.
Exactly, yeah.
And but I find ways to enjoy the game. That's the difference, I think. So
you're creating your own content, pretty much.
Yeah, in effect, and also I do things like takeovers where I go in and try and support other players. Yeah. So in effect, that's creating content for me as well, because I've almost set myself a new challenge 3 times a week where I go into someone else's game and I'm like, right, with these champions in the next 4 hours, how am I going to beat Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss? How am I going to beat Spider 20? And it's a fresh challenge for me personally. Right. But that's not new content to the game. That's just ways I'm finding to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's for me when it comes to the updates. I think that they're probably bug testing quite a lot, because I know there's obvious bugs in this game, but there has to be a reason why they're not updating more often. Because I'm used to games where they update the game weekly. So when in this game when they update it like every few, I don't know, however many weeks or months, it doesn't
Every
feel
quarter.
often enough for me, because I'm waiting for new things to do. Because if you get stuck in a position, for me at least, I had like the challenge you guys mentioned sounds fantastic. Because for me, if when I logged every single day, made videos every single day, it was like either arena or just doing random things, but I didn't feel like I got anywhere, because it was just the same it felt repetitive to me. So I always enjoy when they come with new full working features, to where you have more things to do,
Right.
more variety, and more things to make videos on as well.
Well, so my big thing was, I totally agree, Bob. I think the Battle Pass is a very good introduction. I keep saying to my Discord, if you were to take that whole Battle Pass and put it into the market as a $25 pack to buy, that would literally get sold out. Like, people would literally, like, they would snap that off the market and try and buy that. The fact that I think it's a good income for Plarium. I think they did well for both free to play and for people that wanted to pay more. I think the daily challenges were a nice touch. They weren't too tricky, but they're slightly different, like place debuffs on the dungeon boss 25 times kind of thing before beating them. It's not too far out of the ballpark, and yet it's making you think a little bit. There have been some bugs with the weeklies, which is kind of annoying, but it's the first time it's happened, so hopefully they can improve on that next time.
Right.
But I think even the weeklies.
On that point, I'm not fussed. Yeah, if they release something and there's some small bugs like we've had with the weeklies, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And I think with games of this size and where they're trying to release content, you will get that type of stuff, because
Absolutely.
they'll play test it in a kind of localized area,
Yeah.
and then when you get the kind of stress testing come in, perhaps it's not been tested in that sort of manner. What's not good though is where they take months and months to release something, and then it just is fundamentally broken.
That probably leads on to Faction Wars right there. I'm guessing.
Exactly.
So it's a great little segue. So Faction Wars was hyped for quite a while. I remember during the summer of 2019, like we all started getting word about it from the roadmap and stuff like that. We all knew it was coming. I think I was asking mods on how I can encourage my clan members to prepare for Faction Wars and stuff, and they just said just try and gain up some people of the right faction and just start stocking up your characters pretty much. But it looks like people within the Discord knew what it was and what was happening. It just seemed to take a long time to get released, like in typical Plarium fashion. And I think only one person has completed it, and it's been redone 2 or 3 times now. So, thoughts on Faction Wars?
The challenge is nice with it, but it needs, people really have to try hard for Faction Wars and get in there. But can I jump back to the other stuff really quick on what came out really fast?
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Well, the thing was, like most games that I played, and I played a lot of app games out there, the progression normally would be within 3 months we would have new content like Faction Wars, actual new content. All that other stuff they've ever given us, extension to campaign, extension to the clan boss, isn't really content. I mean, yeah, you could say it's content, but when it's exactly the same, but just a little bit harder, they add a little bit more defense, they add a little bit more speed to it. I don't really consider that new content. And for this company, they love to put in fusion as a way to waste time and try to draw in money because they don't have content coming out. But I can tell you that any regular progression of all the other games I played for the many, many years on app games, that every 3 months you'll get a big content update, and then every month you'll get some kind of balancing or whatever kind of update, which is fine. And their updates aren't bad necessarily, but the thing about them is that they're not frequent enough, they're not consistent enough. If their updates were what they are now, but they came out every month, it wouldn't be a big deal, right?
Yep.
And if so many things were fixed, it would never be a big deal. If all the, how long has it been that we've been playing the game for a whole year that clan boss, we can't have a full clan because clans die too quick.
Yep.
So it's things like that really get me about this company. They don't fix existing problems. They bring out new things. They keep bringing out champions, but they don't fix anything else. And they do need to bring out champions. I'm not mad about that, but they just need to, and again, all these things will be fine that they come out with extension to campaign that nobody really uses. We just do it one time to get rewards. if the game was progressing at a normal pace. And that's the thing about this game. They do not progress at a normal pace. And like Hades said, sure, there's plenty of things to do for new players, mid-game players, new players, because the game is very challenging and they don't really help you out. There are tons of things they could do in this game and go back and do it. Most games at this cycle in the game that's been out for a year, they'll go back and make the beginning process much easier for people so they can catch up faster.
Yeah.
They'll make it so you can 6-star somebody right away. They'll give you chickens to do that. They'll make it so you can master your first person, maybe. Things to get you engaged in the game that you really enjoy playing it. Then you make this powerful 6-star, 60 mastered out right away. You know, it makes you want to spend money. It makes you want to play it. They'll go back and do that, where this company, you know, I don't expect them to do that because they can't even really get on board with getting me content or doing anything else right now for me at in-game, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just they're not on the ball. They're not on the ball with it. And yes, if you're new, there's always something to do, because with any new game, you have a good time playing it. But if the game has been out for as long as this one has, it really needs to catch up. And like John said, it seems like there really is something seriously wrong with the coding or the company or the infrastructure to where they are just not able to.
Did they not
really
take 3 months off and have to recode? And that's why the Battle Pass got held back, right? Because they had to spend extra time coding to fix things. I thought that was already done already. I thought that's why.
Right. And I thought so too, right? They told me legitimately that they had to recode the whole entire game from the ground up.
Right.
Oh, whoa.
Like literally from the ground up, recode the whole entire game.
Yeah.
That's
So-
wow.
And that is why, obviously, the Battle Pass kind of didn't happen when it did, and it's kind of been sporadic since then. And it's like, I think the Faction Wars came out after that, and it was kind of semi-broken, but I think that delayed a lot of things. But, I mean, that's fine. I think a lot of the community were happy for that to happen. If it needed to be done, it needed to be done. But
that's the thing, though. I don't feel like it's been done. They say it's been done. They say they worked on doing that. But obviously, if they had fixed everything, if they had built it from the ground up and completed it, I think we'd be seeing more content come out. I think, and I don't know. I just don't know.
well, yeah, we're all kind of in the dark there, really. But they'd say they've got testers as well, right? I mean,
yeah, I was talking to the creative director, and I said, look, I'm looking to do this content full time. So if you want me to come on board as like a consultant, or as like somebody that can just advise when you're about to drop something, or if you're thinking of the concept of dropping something, I would just give you like, what will that feel like in game?
yeah.
And they just weren't interested, which is fine. Look, I'm not fussed about that. But then they went and dropped Tormund. Yeah, they dropped Tormund like 2 weeks later, and I went back to him. I said, this is exactly what I mean. Yeah. I can see before I even fuse this champ, and I fused him quickly. I can see that he is busted, and I can see that he's going to ruin the game. But the idea is great.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just like little things like that, because we're so involved in the game on a day-to-day basis. You're invested in the game. You can see those things really far out. Whereas some people that perhaps are building the game from, you know, as their job, they might still play the game. They might play the game. They might have a free-to-play account somewhere, but I pretty much guarantee they're not as invested as I am.
Well, no. So I mean, I've
played
heard
on a test server.
Yeah. So obviously they've done a lot of marketing, as we all know, right? They've been absolutely everywhere. I would have thought that during the time that they've expanded and got bigger, that their workforce would have got bigger, their teams would have got bigger. I mean, it just seems like everything's at a slow pace. If everyone has to stop to do something, then everyone is just at a standstill waiting for that one thing. It seems like they're all waiting for each other to catch up a little bit.
Right. I think it's departmentalized. It's way too. Actually, the company is huge. They have so many employees. There's the thing. They really do. At that site, they're supposed to have over 600 employees. Now, obviously, those aren't all.
They've got like 10 games though, right? They've got 10 games.
Right. They're not all working on this game, but this is their flagship, biggest game. Like this is it. This is make or break that company. And
they made the game a meme by just paying everyone to advertise it. It became a meme that sponsored by Rage Legends, like.
Yeah.
But again, with all that money, with all that sponsorship, you would think that they could at least cut back, or go outsource to some really creative people, some talent, and make sure that the game keeps flowing at a steady pace. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is going to be subjective to where people are at in the game. We've already talked about that. So, but for anybody like us that is playing in game, I really do feel like we need something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think they expected to get the player base that I got when they first made the game, which is maybe why it was too much pressure by after a lot of I don't know. I just feel like that may have something to do with it.
But I understand what you're saying there, that they might not have expected that, but they paid for the marketing to get that boom. They obviously got that boom, and they didn't know what to do with that. And yeah, it just feels like it could have been handled better, honestly. But we're all still here. We're all still chipping away, and we all still love the game, and we're just wanting more from it, right? We're just So that's it. Okay, so going back to Faction Wars real quick. So it's had several reiterations. Is it still Mr. Cartman is the only person to complete it, or have there been others since? Do we know?
As far as I know, there is. I've not heard of others, but I mean, the reality is, we're all super endgame, and it's bloody tough.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really tough. I've got factions which have completed. I've completed some of the factions, but definitely not all of them.
Yeah.
And do I think it's at the right level now? It's probably not far from it. I actually don't mind the level it's at. It's hard.
It's just taking you a while to get to that point where it's actually useful or usable.
Yeah, that's the problem. So at the moment, the rewards don't match the effort. That's the issue. So if I do go ahead and complete it, I'm not really incentivized to do it. So I'm an endgame player anyway. To get an extra 1 shard, I could potentially get a shard from doing the clan boss every day.
Yeah.
So I think the rewards don't match the effort.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that being endgame platinum may be more. Well, it's 2 different types of systems, completely obviously, between clan boss and arena. But I think the rewards should be more balanced to where arena rewards would be buffed. Because if you do Ultra Nightmare every single day and you get the last chest, like, you get better rewards than you get from arena, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the Faction Wars, the Faction Wars is just like the campaign, right? You progress so far, you get your stars, and then you get the reward. But I mean, I focused on my dwarf team the other week. I've got 2 Morleys, 1 Tormin, a rearguard sergeant, and a Bulwark. Bulwark is kitted up for the clan boss, so I decided to gear up the other 4. That ended up costing me like 60 million on those 4 characters. And I can only get to like stage 19 or something. So I still need to get more characters and build up the team. But it's such a huge silver. Like, it just takes away your silver if you want to build up a team, right? And for most of the new players out there, they're probably just doing the first 4 stages, if they can, just to get those 1-star glyphs and help them out. By the way, if you are doing that, absolutely save those 1-star glyphs. Like, like, don't use them the right way. You're going to need them for fine tuning, so just hoard those like a mother, right? But yeah, I mean, it's taken 3 iterations. Is it in a good place now for say mid game players, or is it just an end game content thing?
Well, I think there's 2 things to it, right? So for mid game, like you just said there, the glyphs are actually really useful. So if you've got a bunch of level 2 glyphs, you can all of a sudden get an extra 12 speed on all your champs. You can get another 12% defense on everybody. It's really, really helpful to use those glyphs, right? But the thing what's lacking is the end game, the goal. So if you think about why do we all push for level 20 in all the dungeons, why have we gone and got that damage level in clan boss? Basically, it's because we wanted arbiter. And there was a really great prize at the end of that challenge. And actually, you felt some sort of sense of achievement once you'd done that challenge, because you've got yourself this new legendary, fantastic champion. She's useful in pretty much any area of the game.
And before you pull her logo again.
Finish Faction Wars, it's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. I mean, so
well, they're supposed to add that champion though.
Yeah, exactly, and that will make a big difference to it. Once that champion's in, I bet full well that there'll be a hell of a lot more people that complete it. I would be going for it straight away. So all of a sudden, I'd be like, actually, do I want this champ? I'm going to go for it.
I'd already thought about trying to push for it so I could be prepared for that, but it's just too boring for me to want to do it. And that's just me personally. That I like doing it. I like going. I like to do. Actually, I don't like doing it, but I just go in there and do the auto battle, whatever I can get up to. And I don't really try to progress further. If I'm on 19, I'm satisfied with 19. I'll go through that. Maybe one day I'll go through 20 once I have everything up. But right now, I think Faction Wars is just really hard for a lot of people because you need to have a really deep roster first off for new accounts, mid-game accounts, because that's what it's all about, right? You got to have each faction, and then you got to have, all factions aren't created equal. There's very weak factions out there, and they don't try to, you don't see them, and that's what I've talked to them about before too. They don't look at like let's take Lordly Legionnaire that just came out, and what's his name, Celian the Lucky, however you pronounce it.
Yep.
Those two came out.
I got them today.
Good.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah, they're great. They're great for Fire Knight, but they're Magic Affinity, so they don't work out really well for Fire Knight 20. And that's what this game doesn't really look at, you know, as they're developing the game. And that's why I don't feel like the people really play the game, because they bring out these champions that would be great for certain situations in the game. And of course, you don't need to make every champion, you know, tailored for that, but it's a very easy thing to do with just switching the affinity around.
Right.
And then they're like, if you switch them to Spirit, they'd be great for Fire Knight 20, Spiders 20, and Ice Golems 20. And they're built for that. They're actually like really built for that.
Now, is that a missed opportunity, or is that intentional?
I don't think it's intentional, because there have been so many things done in this game that make them look incompetent. So there's no way that I believe that it's intentional.
Okay.
There's just
a missed opportunity.
Right, because all the other champions they brought out with it were all Magic, so they just kept it all Magic.
Just quickly, speaking on missed opportunities, can we just talk about the campfire just for a split second? So this thing has been in the game since I can remember, and the only time it changes, the only time it changes is at Christmas, when you get a Christmas tree. Now, I saw the Christmas tree first year, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I saw the Christmas tree second year, I was really hoping that it was gonna have a flashing star each day, and it was going to be some kind of advent calendar for everyone, and get a little something if you click on the Christmas tree or something. But no, it's just blanked out, right? Christmas tree. Like,
I 100% right. They gave us gifts. Yeah. Around Christmas, they gave us gifts,
and they could have put it in the tree.
Why don't they just make you click on the tree for the gift?
Yeah, I know. That would be so good.
Because coding, guys, they can't. This game breaks too. That's it. Goals go back. It all goes back.
You're clicking in your inventory.
Nope. It would break the game. You don't understand. Any kind of slightest move they do with this, that's why we don't have, you know, storage space or new content or anything else. Anytime they do anything to this game, it breaks. I don't know why.
I would rather it break and they fix it than not have it at all.
Exactly. I would too. But I always thought the campfire is you know, the thing is with games like this and any company like this, they stay up to date by having some fun, doing some things, and you can always change it, right? You don't have to be set in stone. So right now, the campfire could have, you know, a couple of your guys that you choose to come around, like all the other games do when you have, especially like Summoners Wars and the rest. You can pick and choose your champions that you want to walk around, that you see them. Right. So maybe just so it doesn't overload the game, we pick 3. They're walking around right there at the campfire. You see a rotisserie of a chicken, and then every hour or whatever, you click on it and you get a 3-star, 4-star chicken, or it's random, right? You get a 3-star or 4-star, or you can get a 5-star chicken. So every 24 hours, you click on the campfire and you get that. Now, maybe that's not best case scenario right now. You can always change it later, but right now that would be really fun.
Right. So
I agree there. Cool as well. So when they do these fusions, you know, this fusion character comes up to the campfire and he sits down and he's like, it's just something now that's in the game, and you're like, oh cool, we got a fusion. I can visibly see he's there, available for me. You know, it's like,
that would be cool.
Use it. And what he's sitting around the 4 champions you need to fuse into him or something. You know, just something visual that's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. You know, maybe one of them.
I always had a feeling. I always had a feeling that campfire would have something to do with getting silver AFK, like the mine does gems. So that campfire would do something alongside Road of Gold, and you could upgrade it just like the mine or something.
I've talked about that on my channel as well.
But very, very, very early on, when we didn't have these fusions, or when the game was very new, this campfire has been here forever. So maybe that was the initial idea, but I never did something about it. I don't know what the initial idea was.
They mentioned not so long ago that they want to have a friend system or a friend network within this game, and so I'm pretty sure they want to show your friends that are online around the campfire, right? So I think that's what they want to do. They want to have some kind of gifting system as well, where you could gift a friend something a day. And I think that's for your friends list, right?
That's in every game out there.
Exactly.
Already.
Exactly.
That's in 99% of all the app games out there. And it's just like our daily login. It's in all those games.
Exactly.
All these things we know are out there and we all would love to have in the game. But I can tell you right now that the friend system, having a friends list to where you can look at, you know, the other games I play, you have a friends list. You can look at your friends' gear. You can look at their rosters.
Yeah, you can look at champions and everything. You can duel.
Yeah, you can duel them. Yeah. You can just do a free-to-play duel on all these other games that we're playing. And this game is not going to have that.
No.
It just won't.
Yeah,
in the life cycle, progression. There's no way that they have the time to include that. It'll be 2030. This game, it's just
yeah.
I don't even think by then.
That's an issue from the. That's a very vital part of mobile games nowadays, is to have friend lists, to have friends, to communicate, to have, like, for example, in chat you have like a friends chat or a whispered chat, and like. But I feel like it requires so much coding to add that in, to where you can click and look at people's heroes and stuff. I feel like that's probably quite convoluted to do, especially now that I have done so much coding already in the game.
I think
for them.
Go on, Stu.
Yes. Well, for them, yes. For other companies, they have it done. They have it done out the gate, like when the game.
Yeah, they have it out from the beginning. So, yeah.
Well, I think that was their idea. I think that was their idea, was to try and get it out. But we've gone so long without it now. I really think they could just put it to better use in something else. I mean, so like John mentioned, we've got the sparring pit, right, where we put in characters, and they, as much as you leveled up your pit, then you get different XP, and depending. So if you put a 2-star in, they get 4,100 XP. If you put a 3-star in, they get 4,200, etc., etc. If we had like some kind of sparring pit like that, but if we can put in our characters to generate silver, let's say I put in a 6-star legendary Vault Guardian, which I'm not using, and he would probably gain 50,000 silver, like, I don't know, a day or whatever. Then you might even get auras which come out, and you might gain more whilst in the silver pit or something. But I think silver generation of some kind without battling is really needed. I think that would be really great. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think that would be a nice thing to have added, and that shouldn't really be hard coding as well. If it's just like the sparring pit, I could copy the code and just add it for silver instead.
But then, I think firstly, you're totally right that silver in this game is super hard to come by, especially if you're somebody who's actively trying to improve what you do.
Yeah.
So I think, if you take silver and books, they're the two things that just are not accessible enough in this game.
Yeah.
For the amount that you need them.
Yeah.
Stu, how does that compare? So forget books for a minute. Just on the sort of silver front, how does that compare to some of the other games that you've played? Yeah, books. We won't touch on books just yet.
Yeah, silver.
You might have a meltdown.
It's always been a bottleneck.
Yeah.
Yeah, always been a bottleneck for coin.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, like getting silver in this game compared to many other games, I think you get, like, if you do like 12-3 and you get like around 20k silver a go, like that's quite substantial compared to. That's quite substantial compared to other games.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because I'm playing as an example, Calibria, like you get maybe 1,500 silver per round. Yeah. Compared to here, you get like 20k or whatever. So I do enjoy the amount of silver they're giving, but it's just when you need tens of millions to build a single.
Well, you're having to pay to fuse your potions, to change your gear. I mean, to rank up your champion. Like literally everything in the game is costing silver. You know.
I feel like this is very comparable. Even monetization. I know monetization here is expensive, but it's still, if the game flowed well, if they always went back and updated it, made it easier for the new people to come in and catch up. That's the thing. Right. Everything that they do would be okay if they actually kept up with their game. It wouldn't be an issue, because the silver issue, we have that with all those games. The monetization, we have that with all the games. Overpowered champions might come out in some other games, but they do work to fix them in a timely manner. So as long as this game kept up with doing everything they needed to do, with all the things we've been talking about, then none of this would be an issue. Right. But since they don't, that's why these things stand out so strongly. We don't have a login reward like all the other games do, a 30-day login reward. We got the 90-day, then it disappeared, and then now we got a new 90-day added onto it. Soon that will disappear, and they'll be back in the same boat. They just seem to do just enough to try to keep people around, or the new players around, but not, catch up with the times. Yeah. And that's what I'm worried about. I would love. Could you guys imagine if this game had everything we talk about from all these other games in this game?
That would be an ultimate game right there.
I would love it. I would be so
amazing.
What I really love about this game is that there's only one server, because most of the games I played before this had like hundreds or thousands of servers, or then new server events they made a server a day essentially just to make a lot of money. And it's kind of spread the players so thin, because there would be like no players in your server, so you'd have no one to talk to or combat with or be friends with or whatever. So I really enjoy that they have been keeping everything onto just one server at least. So I like that, and that may be one of the reasons why there has been so many maintenances, because the server has issues handling tens of thousands of players or however many is on every single day.
Oh, mate, there's a lot of players, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
just talk, please.
Yeah, go for it. So basically, they like to keep people wanting more, right? So we had the first login system, which should have been in since day freaking one, if I'm honest. Like, every game has a login system, they've done so much marketing to get new players in, but they didn't bring in a login system to keep them there. So
we've lost so many new players. They could have retained, and there's been things that's happened over the lifetime of the game, the cycle with Foley and everything else, where we have literally, because of their greed, we have lost so many champions where so many players that if they would have just done things like everybody else, they would have made more money and kept our community growing.
Right. I still think we're still growing, but they do want to keep us wanting more. I mean, the Battle Pass, for example, I mean, most people have done already, even if you're free to play. I'm sure if you've done the weeklies and the dailies, I'm sure that's kind of doable. But are we going to have a gap between this Battle Pass? If so, how long? Are we going to get any more Battle Passes this year? I mean...
how much longer do we have on this Battle Pass?
Like a week or so? You did it right away. 2 weeks, 3 days.
About 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
By now, if I was them in marketing and everything else, I would have already announced the newest Battle Pass coming out, and I would have given teasers to content creators to at least do videos about. I wouldn't have even talked about what the champions do. Maybe give teasers to just the portraits of the champions, the character models, and say, hey,
I agree.
New Battle Pass is going to come out in 2 weeks. Be prepared, be ready. It's going to be just as amazing as the last Battle Pass that you participated in, if not better. So I would have already built excitement and expectation and had people ready to go with it.
Yeah, it's very important to have those teasers, because that keeps people intrigued and interested in.
Hey, hang on,
you gotta keep it rolling.
But I'm kind of overtime right now, so I really should go.
John, thank you very much for jumping in, buddy, and we'll see you next week. All right,
fun.
You take care, bud.
Take care, John.
Yeah.
See you, John.
Have a nice one, guys. Thanks for having me.
Peace, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so the Battle Pass. I mean, they want people wanting more, right? Are we going to have? I don't know. Should they advertise it now? Is it too soon? Should they try and build it up?
Keep the momentum. You got to always, with all this stuff, you want to keep the momentum running. If it's especially if it's something that's accepted well from everybody, right, from the community. You've even heard people like me who complain a lot say, hey, the Battle Pass is one of the best things they've ever done in the game.
Right.
But you got to keep it going. Now, what happens? Let's just take this in Polarium fashion. What if we don't hear anything, and then there isn't a new Battle Pass put out, and
until
then 2 weeks
Christmas
later, after the Battle Pass ends, we're sitting here wondering, hey, do you guys remember when there was a Battle Pass?
Yeah.
Just like the login reward system, just like the same. They went 6 months after that, didn't they? It's
right, with nothing.
But don't you think though, if they tease something, they have to be able to follow through on it? So
well, shouldn't they be able to though? They should have already.
Yeah, 100%. But they tease stuff like the artifact finder, right?
God, yeah.
Honestly, every time there's a new patch and I see it's not in it, I want to jump out my upstairs window, because I do this stuff with Stu, right, and it's a grind to try and find my gear. It literally is. I can't even get myself up in the morning to do it. It's so frustrating to look for speed gear. Someone said to me, "Is that as fast as your arbiter can get?" I was doing an arena video today, and I'm like, actually no, I could put probably another 25 speed on it, but I can't be bothered to find the gear. It's just spread around my champions. So but they teased it so early now.
They tease everything early, don't it? Everything gets teased early. My way of life, you under-promise and overachieve. They've kind of over-promised and underachieved, really. They've kind of gone the other way. And but I
just want it to be amazing. I want this game to be so amazing. I want them to stay with what they do, right? Like we're all talking about. And this is a small thing. The Battle Pass is a small thing, but it actually goes overall with their whole, progression that they've had with this game. That they come out with good things. They come out with great things. This isn't even content. Oh, sorry. Do I have something running right now? Or is it somebody else?
That was just John hosting, I believe.
Oh, okay, great. So, and then they do great things like the Battle Pass, and then they won't follow through with it. So I hope we're not 2 weeks after the Battle Pass remembering back to the days when we had a Battle Pass and how cool it was to have. And I really think it's good, even though it's not new content, at least it gives people drive and direction. Hey, I got to come in and do these daily quests. I got to do weekly quests. I was really worried that it would come out and they wouldn't be attainable by people, that it would be too difficult. And it looks like they're trying to make them easier or better if there are issues with it. So, that's good.
It's been really good. And like you say, they should just be on it. They should be releasing the next part now.
I don't want it to disappear. I don't. I want them to keep. They need to keep that momentum, and they're not good at doing that. They aren't.
I totally agree. Yeah, just if it's a good thing, just keep it going. And I mean, if they were to remove some of the bugs and test it a little bit more, I'm sure it would go down even more swimmingly. I think the positive results have just been amazing. Everyone's enjoyed it. Everyone's enjoyed that extra taking part and the participation. I think it's been great. And some of those stats from the gears have been really good for people. Like, I think this would be some people's first lot of 6-star gear, go through the battle pass. So
yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have like a full set of 6 as well. They could have been cheeky and just done 4 or something, but it is a full set. And yeah, I think like I said, if you were to put this in a pack and offer it for $25, people would buy as many as they could.
Oh, it's so far the best value thing they've done in the game. It's so far beyond anything else. It's actually insane. The amount of gear you've got glyphs, you've had so much stuff.
Yeah.
So absolutely if you're trying to encourage somebody that's basically free to play to just part with some cash,
and it did that. It did that. Yeah.
This is the thing.
To spin just one time, right? To make that one purchase, this would definitely be it. And then they might even do it every season, every battle pass that comes up. And that's and that's what I want. I want them to continue with things that are great like this. And the biggest thing to me that just kills me inside is that when they stop doing stuff like this, and I don't know what they will, or when they take too long to get it out, is that it's hurting them, right? I mean, this is a great revenue stream, and it's also a great way to keep players playing or new players interested in the game playing. And when you come out with something like this that we see as a great opportunity, and they stop it, it's not good for retention, I don't think.
No, but I mean, they do like we mentioned, they do like to stop things, make us really want it, to pause bursting, and then they say, okay, here it is, and then we just go ham with it,
And again, I don't think that's their intention. I just think it's the process of them getting all their departments together, because there's so many departments there. They're so big. So to me, it really falls over whoever is the overall coordinator of all those departments, who knows exactly what's going on.
Okay.
The overall architect, who should know exactly what's happening with all your departments and what your overall big picture is for 6 months, for a year down the line, what you're working on, what you're progressing to. Because they have flows and charts. They have builds that they want to do. They know what they're working toward. And that person, or those couple people, the very few, are the ones that are kind of letting us down.
Right.
I feel that aren't able to get it all together and make those departments come together and get it done for some reason.
So amazing addition to the game. Just don't stop it. Just keep it going.
Yes, please. Please keep it going. I want to see more. I want to see more amazing battle pass. I want champions come out. I want to see them in a fashion where everybody has a chance to get them, as long as they spend that $25-$30 and then work toward their dailies and their weeklies. I think it's amazing. I love to have things to do when you log in like this.
Yeah. I play a game called Rocket League, and when they introduced a battle pass, it was kind of a game changer in terms of itemization and what people could get from the game. And I was very hyped when they mentioned it in the roadmap. And I'm very hyped that it's in the game. And yeah, it's gone down quite smoothly actually. So yeah, good stuff. So we've mentioned faction wars. We've gone through basically dungeons 15 and 20 and login systems briefly, but we've got a new login system now with some new champions. If I was to look at the login system, I was very happy when I saw this. It seems like a daily login system 2.0. You've got some Void Shard at the beginning. You've got different immortal gear. You've got glyphs now. There's a couple of books on the first month. It seems better than the first month. The energy is nice. The silver is nice. This isn't for new players. This is for mid-game players, really. So we've got the first 90 days ones, which was for beginners, pretty much, and we've got, Dark Aethor?
Yeah.
And which didn't go down too well. Lots of people were really hyped, and then they got her, and that was it. The hype just disappeared on the same day. Are we kind of talking like Dark Elhain as being a Tormin debuffer or killer?
No, I think she's going to fail. I think it's a cool effort, but I think the way they have the game coded, I'm very hesitant to think that she'll do well. Can anybody pull her right now? Do people have her?
I'm sure people can pull her. Yeah, you can pull her. Yeah.
Well, I need to get a hold. Hey, you guys listening out there, if you have her and you have 60 or whatever, let us log in and play with her. HELLHADES and I would love to go in there, especially if you have her geared out and you've got her with pretty good teams, get into Gold 4, maybe even the Platinum. I would love to just see if she doesn't if she gets frozen right away, because she's going to remove a freeze and put
That's
up all
the thing,
these
isn't
buffs.
it? She puts buffs on herself.
I want to see that she's going to get frozen right away. And I would love to do a video on her. I really would.
Is that invitation going out to the other characters in the login system?
Yeah. I would love to play any of these guys.
Lordly Legionary and Skyle of the Drakes.
Yeah, it's
always fun to play around with these champions that we know are coming. And actually, in terms of viewers, they really get a lot from it. So, it's always good to get those new champions quite early to be able to show them off. Yeah. So, absolutely. You're right. Yeah, definitely.
And obviously, everyone's very excited for the Barbarian, the Legendary. I myself am actually pretty excited. She's got some really good stuff going on.
She
obviously,
looks amazing.
She
does.
Based on defense for starters, decreased speed is obviously going to be very helpful. I've got attacks all enemies 2 times with the chance to stun them all based on defense. And then obviously revives an ally with 50% HP and places a 50% ally protection buff on them for 2 turns. And that can be booked down to 4. Heals all allies with a passive of their max HP, 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. Also placed a 30% increased speed buff on a random ally for 2 turns. So a packed out kit.
Can I stop you for a second? Right?
Go for it, man.
I've talked about this in one of my videos recently. Power creep is a real issue in games like this, and I feel like players are stretching the champions every time they release somebody.
Okay.
And it's a bit like you talked about Rotis. You were like, Rotis is really great because he can do my dragon, he can do my fire knight, he can come in my arena, he can do my clan boss. Well, actually, he probably shouldn't be able to do all those things, right? He shouldn't be able to come in and be top tier in all of those areas.
Yeah.
Because it actually belittles, your
everybody.
Tomb Lord. Yeah, your Tomb Lord that you've had, and you think, Tomb Lord was doing all right for me in the arena.
Yeah.
Well, and it feels like this new champion, she's got a buff that does so much stuff, and it's just
got
like,
everything.
Oh man, they're not. I don't think they're getting it. And for me, if I'm sitting there behind the desk, I'm like, guys, take a second. Let's look at the benchmark here. Who's top tier? Who's bottom tier? Where do we want them to sit? If we want them to sit in line with top tier, then we need to be sitting them in line with a Bad L or a Martyr or somebody. So, what do they do well? Where do they feature at the moment? Great, let's find somebody that perhaps features in a different place, but has got the same sort of strength. But they're not doing that. They're saying, let's find someone that can feature everywhere and has got the best abilities from our top 3 champions, and and basically we'll clear the snow if it's a snowy day for you, and we'll make you a cup of tea when you wake up in the morning. It's just like, guys,
new champion has Bad Alcazar, Martyr's abilities, and everybody else, Draco's abilities, all mashed into one. And I agree with you. But I don't think they do it intentionally. I really believe that they firmly just do not know what's going on. And when they make these champions, obviously they don't play test them. And I'm with you though. They combined. They could take these champions that are overpowered like this, or very powerful and used everywhere, and they could split them up. They just add, like, they make them. I actually like the way they make them. I like the abilities. I like the idea that they have with it. But then they just keep adding to it and more and more. Like Rotos, with his ability to get HP and do what he does, would be great on his own as a champion, right? Yeah. Even with the extra turn. But he didn't need to have, block, revive, attack through everything else, all that kind of stuff. You could have put that on another champion and made another champion amazing. Then you have 2 champions that are both very good, one that's not super overpowered, 2 champions that are both very powerful, and that's it. You got these new champions. So they continue to do that. They continue, and again, this Lady of the Drakes, she is amazing, and in 180 days to get her, but she's going to really plow through content for people. I mean, she is just it. At 180 days, you load her up with speed, some defense, some HP, whatever else you want, and your team, I mean, on wave, she's going to stun everybody. If anybody dies, she's going to bring them back to life, and then she does so much else. She's going to heal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
and she's going to be, I mean, pretty much, you're just going to use her to run through all content in the game with.
The silly thing as well, so people, when they get these champions, everyone looks at it from a very personal point of view. So, I've got myself a Tormund. So if you nerf Tormund, then that's absolutely like a grievance against me personally, and they don't really look at it as how does it fit the game, and actually that's a bit of an issue, because then when players need to come and actually do nerfs on champions, which they do need to do, it feels really personal. It's like you're nerfing my champion, my person that can actually get me through content. And because they've started the levels so high, they have to bring the nerf in pretty heavy. And then people are like, well, what are you doing? You've got no idea what you're doing with your game.
Yeah.
So it makes balancing very hard.
God, I'd hate to be in that development team trying to balance everything. That's a headache, which they've kind of created for themselves. I mean, before August, after their official release, they didn't really release any content till Faction Wars, but in between that time, it was characters, right? It was factions, it was characters. They come up with like 150 characters in 3 months or something stupid. It was just characters upon characters. And then they obviously done the recoding, which
right.
Yes, they've had a lot of things going on, and I'm glad I'm not in that team. If I'm honest, I love
all the champions. The champions are amazing. I just want them to rebalance a lot of them and bring them up so that they're viable. And even so, like let's take Madame Series for example. She removes all debuffs. She applies a decreased defense and decreased attack. Right. All three of those together, or each of those are amazing. And then when you put them all in one champion, it becomes really crazy. And if you're gonna have somebody like that, you got to bring the rest out. Like Stag Knight. Stag Knight's a really good champion. And he's up there to almost be as good as her, which is fine. I love it, and it gives it. He's usable. He's viable in a lot of situations in the game. So I like that they brought him out, but they could have also made Madam just remove all buffs and then decrease defense, not decrease attack. And then they could have brought somebody else out, like maybe redo Hope, to where Hope is out there. If you know her, if you've seen her before, she can try to remove buffs, but it's at a lower percentage because she's an old champion. They could have made her remove buffs at 100% and then decrease attack on top of that. That way you got two different champions that are very, very strong. One removes buffs, decreases defense. The other one removes buffs, decreases attack. And so you have options and you make all your other champions out there viable. I mean, that's what I would do if I was in the phase. But here again, when they come out with their AI that messes everything up and they come out with champions that are like Torment and broken, that's where Hades and I feel like, hey, you definitely need somebody who's really into the game to play test some of these things. Let us get on a test server. Let us try to play test these even for a week. Even if you gave me a week to have fun with these champions, I guarantee I could at least point out a few things that might help out. You know, might change your mind and might make you want to do a little changes to them.
I mean, lots of games nowadays have alternate servers for testing. You know, for test servers. So I don't know. I think that should be possible. They do. You know.
Well, they do. They have plenty of test servers. They just don't want to let us on.
I've asked a question about that as well. So their test servers are all very localized.
Okay.
Apparently, so that they can't, and each test server is basically testing one new thing in isolation. So they might have 5 test servers local. One of them's looking at artifact sorting. One of them's looking at whatever content they've tried to introduce. The other 3 are probably looking at new champions.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? So they're basically saying they're saying anyway, I don't know how true it is, but they're saying it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing you can't argue with is the fact that they make like a beautiful game. Yeah.
Right.
So when they bring these champions out, they look fantastic. They're created so well. The modeling is done so well. And, you know, I've actually played now quite a few of these gotcha games just in terms of, you know, giving my first thoughts and that type of stuff. And I tell you what, for a mobile game, I know it's now on PC as well, but for a mobile game, it's insanely crisp. And when you see people that try to impersonate the style of game,
it's just not close, is it?
It's nowhere near.
No.
It's seriously nowhere, and that's why they keep people so well, because, you know, aesthetically, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
So they've got that part nailed. They just need to step up the content.
That also brings me to another thing. The game is so beautiful, right? And you know, cosmetics make a fortune. If you played 7 Deadly Sins, a new games that came out, if you played any kind of game out there, Fortnite, it doesn't matter what it is, games run off of cosmetics. They literally, like, you know, League of Legends, all your games, cosmetics pay the bills for everything. If this game, right, if I'm playing somebody full time, like a Val Alcazar or whoever you love, and a champion pack comes out for a new cosmetic for that champion, there are people out there, there are whales out there that collect cosmetics like they're, you know, Pokemon. They got to have them all. They will definitely spend 100% for every cosmetic in the game. And Summoners Wars does cosmetics. Epic 7, you know, we have 2 new games out that do it. You know, Calibria, 7 Deadly Sins. All of them do cosmetics, and really, they can survive off of cosmetics alone.
Really,
actually, like you say, it's like when they launch a new patch, any sort of new patch, there should just be a skin pack that comes out with the style.
I was just going to say that,
You know, it's so simple. It's like you got your Christmas and obvious stuff, but there's also, you know, you could do like Chinese New Year, and it'll just be like, right, you know, Year of the Dragon, and everyone's got this dragon fit, you know.
the amount of money you make off of it, they pay these artists pennies. It's not actual pennies, it's good money, but I'm saying, but for the amount of money they make off of cosmetics, it is pennies paying these artist people, right, to do that, and then to have your coders go in there and just reskin it. It's really not that difficult.
I mean,
so
I would rather have the option to buy and change the look of my character, as in a skin, than have, say, a dark Elhane that isn't probably going to be used everywhere. I would rather have the option to get that skin or earn that skin and make my Elhane look like that, or Aethel look like that, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe Harvest Jack had a Christmas costume rather than Halloween or something. Just something crazy out there, you know?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then that's fantastic. I love the idea of what you just said right there, because games do that. They take somebody like that's a Halloween, they switch him into a Harvest Jack Christmas, like the movie with just Jack, right?
Right?
And then they would do that, and people buy it because it's cool. Because you see a Harvest Jack come in there with a with the hat on, the Christmas hat.
Yeah.
And
maybe he had a candy corn with him. There we go.
Buy it up. Yeah, they love it. And if I'm using that champion, I will buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could also become a decent kind of reward system as well. So, you know, if they ever introduced a shop in this game where you can actually go in and buy things you want.
Yeah.
Which please release that.
Yeah.
Then, you know, it could become one of the skins of the month is for Bad L or whatever, or it can be for Martyr or whoever it is. Skin of the month in there, and it's a really cool design, but it's literally like a time sink. So once that month's over, you can't go back and get that skin.
That would work so well.
Skins could be in the battle pass too. Skins
Oh,
could
they
be in the
could.
battle pass. You could have skins in there to have people get. And that's the thing. The greatest thing with skins is that then, of course, you can even be sneaky if you want to. You can come out with a new champion that's like Bad Alcazar, make him look kind of, you know, dumbed down, where he looks cool but not that cool, and then you know that the skin is very attractive. Or you bring in somebody like War Maiden. Not War Maiden, I'm sorry. You bring in somebody like Martyr. Martyr is all armor clad, and I actually like the way she looks. She looks cool. But if you put Martyr, a version of her in a bikini, not necessarily a bikini, you know what I mean?
Like they're not already. Like they're
Right?
not already.
She's been up 2 hours.
If you put a version of her in something like armor clad, but like a bikini armor clad, like really weird, people would buy it. They will.
Yeah. Also, what you said there about the battle pass, right? If they had like battle pass for freebies, gold battle pass, and then you do a platinum one where you double the price, but you get to choose a skin, or 2 skins, whatever it is. So many people would buy that most expensive one. So many people would say, actually,
exclusive skin too. If you do exclusive skins to the battle pass only, then people will buy it, because that's what a lot of other companies do too. They'll do exclusive skins that are only out for a certain time, and that they may come back later on. Maybe, but it makes you want to get it. Of course, they have a skin shop and ways for you to slowly get some kind of material to get those for free to play, right? You always got to have that free to play option. That's what I love in all these other games. You got to build in that free to play way to get it. Of course, it's going to take you a lot of time to get it free to play, but hey, that's what it's supposed to be, right? Time or money, you have both options.
Yeah.
So on the same kind of level with the skins, another thing that I've kind of been begging for since like day one pretty much are the avatars, right? I've just noticed, if you guys, they're the platinum avatars I've just seen in there for the first time. I didn't see them before. But with the avatars, so I played a game called Zombie Strike before this. And in Zombie Strike, whenever you got a character within the game, you also got that avatar. So you could then just choose whichever avatar you wanted and show that you've got a collection of characters, right?
Right.
I would love something like that in this. So if you got a character, as well as getting that character, you got that avatar for your profile. So then you've got that choice, right? And it's like an additional reward for getting a character. Whereas right now, we've got just the Battle Pass avatars and the Platinum avatars. I feel they could have done so much more with avatars. You've got like 10,000 people with that one picture, like, and I just think they could have done. They've got 400, 500 characters. They could have done something different with avatars. Thoughts?
Right.
I mean, it feels like it's coming, doesn't it? So
that's like the story of this game, though. I feel like that's the story of this game. Like all these small things that we talk about right now that would actually make the game fun or more enjoyable in different ways. They've asked for that. People have actually asked for avatars for this for a very long time, since back before the game even launched, and so we're seeing it now with the platinum, and I like it. I like it as a start, but definitely add that in there again. Even avatars for something like having the battle pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so you know that, hey, I bought season 1 battle pass, season 2 battle pass, and now I want to show off my avatar that was only available back then or for a limited time or something like that. Bam, you've got another selling point to get it out there.
Yeah.
Because basically anything which people have got to pay for that doesn't enhance the performance of their game, I'm 100% behind that.
Yeah.
So paying for aesthetics, I think, is a better introduction to the game than paying to win. And I think they've gone too far pay to win, where they could have actually balanced it with a lot more aesthetics. And actually they would be making probably more money than they are now.
Oh, way more money. If I could buy costumes, I'm telling you, I would have so many costumes in this game right now just to flaunt off, because we're doing videos too. So I'm going to show you in my video, look at this character with this new costume on.
Yeah. And that way, actually, the game feels more balanced. You've got free-to-play players that aren't, basically saying, well, what's the point of me trying to do arena and all sorts of stuff. So it's just so achievable. That is,
you need more bikinis. I need more bikinis.
But you would literally have people using characters they haven't used for so long just because they've got a skin which makes them look cooler. You know?
Right. And if you could time it with a buff as well, so like Mushalard's getting buffed now.
Right.
If they brought out a skin at the same time, I'll tell you now, I reckon
you're talking too smart.
Yeah.
You're talking too smart, lady.
50% of people that own that champion, I reckon, would buy that skin. If it's
they would.
Okay price,
more than 50%.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm using him, and check out the new skin I've got at the same time, and everyone would be like, oh, now I'm going to buy it.
It'd be free money, it'd be easy money, and yes.
The word of mouth would spread like wildfire as well, right? Like, it would just be one of those things. Everyone likes to do it, and it is, as long as they don't charge like 20 quid a skin or something, like...
Yeah, they don't need to. That's the other thing that's a bit silly, is they go way too high on some of this stuff. I mean, I'm playing another game. It's not at the same visual level, but it's a great game, actually, called Dragon Champions, Yeah. And packs come up, and they're like £4.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, okay, well, I'll have one less cup of coffee today. Because I could just go and buy this pack, and I end up probably spending, I don't know, £100 a week in that game.
Yeah.
But I could easily spend nothing in that game and still have fun. Whereas with Raid, it's like, actually, it could be £100 a day.
Hades gets that expensive coffee.
Well, I worked in London for a while, man.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying, though. It's just like, come on, it's...
I don't mind. I really don't mind the cost, though. For cosmetics, like, you can jack up the cost, and I don't mind it because... Yeah, you want to have some smaller ones so everybody can afford it, but because it doesn't affect the game, I don't mind the cost being high. But as long as you have a way for free-to-play to eventually obtain the one they want. Obviously, within like a 6 months of free-to-play grinding out, they might be able to pick one. Whereas obviously somebody spending $100 is going to have like a whole sweet pack of a lot of champions, as they went through it, or $200 or $500. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People will spend thousands of dollars, even a month.
You know what you just said there? And this is another great idea. Basically, you buy a pack, and within that pack, it could be one of 10. And so you've got the RNG element of player making tons of cash.
Yeah.
It's terrible for the
now you're doing RNG packs? Oh god, please. Seriously, please. RNG cosmetics? I was all for it.
FIFA. People just sit there and pull packs. They don't even
I'm all for cosmetics. But you're on a whole new level. I have never heard of RNG cosmetics.
Seriously.
Mate, you haven't played Rocket League. Rocket League is all about it, mate. I'm telling you.
I've worked in sales for too long, man, but I'm seeing the money fly out at me. I'm like, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
You could get the good champion, or the good player.
I'll only agree with that if they put in a way to get, free to play that we could eventually grind up and then pick who we want. Because
like the battle pass and login system, something like that, something to work towards.
Yeah. Or usually I've always bought cosmetics because you know what you're getting, right? But getting random cosmetics seems very scary. I probably would not spend money on that because I would just feel really, really jaded after I try to spend some money. I don't get who I want, who I play, and then But I'm all for cosmetics. But you guys, I think you guys are working for Galarian. Confirmed? It's
confirmed.
If we were, we'd be making a lot more money.
Oh dear. Yeah. So another thing which I kind of just thought of that would really help in terms of skins would how much the fans and the community would like to chip in with that and make their own skins. Like the fan art would be ridiculous. and they could have people contribute with their arts and just that. I think that'd be really great. I think. Can you imagine someone has come up with such a redesigned Foley ninja suit or something that's so good that it's got 100,000 upvotes from the Reddit, and they thought, yeah, we could add that.
They added it.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. I'd love that, and it goes along. Right now, they've been doing those Discord contests with people drawing and doing the art.
Yeah.
You guys have seen it
with the poems and the poems and stuff that they've been doing lately.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect, and every month they pick somebody's skin that.
That'd be so good.
And then they put it into the game. I would love that.
I think the fans would love that. Community would love that. I think the artists would love that. I think it's like you said, it's a very crisp game, very well looking game. People would love to try and create something for a game that they love, and I think that would be absolutely awesome. Maybe it was in like a community corner or something once a month, and at Christmas times that would be crazy. They'd have loads.
It's just ways to try and get your community engaged in your game, other than flaming you. Yeah. And these are really great ideas because it like focuses people's minds on something else,
right?
And it's a positive something else.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. You just need to be able to like move people along with you in the right direction. And at the moment, because it's like radio silence a lot of the time.
Yeah.
People just have to throw stuff at you instead. Yeah. It's like help yourselves, Plarium. Yeah.
I'll be right back. 2 minutes.
Oh, good. You go grab your beer at 20 to 9 in the morning. You go do that, man. Okay, so was you around, Hades, when the 6-star gear started turning up, or was you just before that?
I was around a bit before that, so...
Because that came out during the summer, didn't it? I think it was come out during the summer sometime for the official release.
I was already farming like the level 15 stuff, because I remember a point where I thought I should just stop farming. Do other stuff in the game, because I know that before long we're going to be moving on anyway.
Yeah.
So I was definitely around for that.
I think Stu did the same thing. He got to 15 and just started banging down Plarium's door until they gave him stage 20. And so he didn't really farm stage 15 much, did you, Stu, until when you knew stage 20s were coming out?
I'm back. I'm sorry. What did I said I'd be gone for 2 minutes.
I heard the beer open, so I just assumed you were back, so we're good. So with the 6-star gear, when it came out, you got to stage 15 and you were just like chatting to Plarium, waiting for stage 20. You wasn't really farming stage 15 much, so right? Because, the gear was pointless.
I couldn't farm it because there was no 6-star gear, and there was no reason for me. To me, that's the whole thing, the whole part of the game, right? To grind that gear out. Yep. And I'm not going to grind 5-star gear when I know that any day you're going to drop 6-star, because the game's even telling me 6-star. So when is it coming? Give it to me, because I don't. There was no reason for me to play the game. I couldn't grind, right? Could you imagine playing this game where there's no reason to grind gear?
Yeah. Yep.
So I had to wait, and then once it came out, I was just so happy.
So what did you do for that period of time, Stu? Because I remember I was in the same place actually, and I was thinking, I don't want to waste my time.
Kicking and screaming, bitching and complaining. That's all I did. That's it. That's all I could do. I really, there was nothing for me to do. There really wasn't. Because I got there and I just sat there. There was no reason to grind. So every day, that's the only thing I could do was complain about it.
See, for me, it was kind of annoying doing stage 15 and seeing, like you said, it did say 4 to 6-star gear. And that was in since the early beta, since like November, December 2018. And it just never changed until like the summer. So it was very weird. It kind of put me off farming those 15s because of that reason. But then the gear is everything, right? So how it went from all those many months of kind of advertising, we're going to have gear, and then we had like 8 months of beta, and then we had the 6-star gear, which was pretty crazy. But it was so needed. But that turned up at the same time as Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, right? Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
It came out along the same time because people would just... we could literally talk about Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Maybe we could leave that for like a whole segment some other time. But yeah, I mean, the 6-star gear came out at the same time as Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. But I feel Ultra Nightmare was kind of the band-aid. There has been loads of issues with Ultra Nightmare, or Clan Boss in general, since day one. Like, right now, as you can see, I've only got 26 members out of 30 because we can't have a full clan. Because if we do have a full clan, we're going to take in the damage away from everyone else. We could have... the time zones is an issue, right? Americans are waking up and all the Europeans have got in their damage on Void. And so I'm in
Cool,
the UK, but on an American time zone, pretty much, because I stream at night for you guys. And yeah, I wake up and I've missed out on Void. So I've got to do 4 keys on Spirit Affinity or Magic Affinity and stuff like that. But there's there's not a unity within clans for that reason. Like, we all get on and we all chip in and we're all helpful for each other to build our accounts. But in terms of a collective goal as to what to do on a daily basis, it's all individual.
I think me and Stu have had a good chat about this on a video we've done before. But basically, there needs to be something in this game for clan versus clan. So firstly, I need to fix the clan boss, and it should be a relatively simple fix.
Yeah.
But put something in the game that puts us against other clans. Otherwise, I'm in one of the highest clans in the game, and it's actually a cluster of clans as well. So there's like a bunch of them in the top 30. And in Gallifrey, we've got really good members here, but we're spreading out our quality members around a bunch of different clans to make sure people actually get rewards that they should get.
Yeah.
That's the first point. So you're not kind of combining all your great players in one place, you're spreading them.
Right.
And then there's actually nothing to do as a clan, in terms of an objective. You've got all these things that build your power up, beat Dragon 25 million times and you'll get another few hundred clan points. So what? What's the point?
Yeah.
There
needs to be some kind of camaraderie to pull everyone together rather than, can you not spend your key there? Someone needs to get their damage. Or someone's doing their arbiter missions today. Can we do a different clan boss today? Do you know what I mean? It's just, there's all those little things. You're getting punished for being a valuable player almost. Okay, here's a question for both of you. Is the clan boss going to be fixed to the way that everyone would like it before a second clan boss comes out, i.e. the Hydra?
Well, before they said they would. All right, so over the last year that I've been, that we've all been complaining about this whole situation.
Yep.
They said they weren't going to do anything. They said they were not going to fix the clan boss. We gave them multiple ways of how they could do it to make it easier for everybody. Very simple to do, and they just said no, they're not going to. That they're bringing out a new boss, and that they're not going to fix the current boss. And we were always like, well, what's up?
That hurts.
We were like, so if you're not going to fix it, then is it dead? Like, what's going on? So we still don't know, but now they're saying that they're actually going to fix it. They're going to make it toward the ideas that we're talking about, but they haven't given any specifics about it whatsoever.
But there are so many simple ways they could do, right? They could just take away, they could just make the clan boss unkillable, and so everyone just goes ham, but they still get their top chest, right? But you're not taking away damage from everyone else. So you could spend as many keys as you want, but as long as you get that chest, then you're all right. But yeah, it's the fact that the clan boss dies or can be killed before the reset and stuff, I think is kind of annoying. If they made the clan boss unkillable up to a point and it just counted your damage, we still don't have a clan boss damage counter, by the way. But so we could have that. And no one will get punished. If we had someone that did 100 million damage and someone that did 30 million damage or something, they would still be chipping in and getting the same results pretty much, But I don't think a second clan boss, i.e. the Hydra, coming into the state where we've been unhappy with clan boss mechanics for over a year and a half, like since day one. I don't think they should add another clan boss. And how would that work? Would the clan bosses get rotated? Would we divide the clan up even further?
Animal.
Right, so
we would be a whole separate animal.
Okay, so we would have to divide the clan up. So one clan fights one clan boss, the rest of the clan fight the other clan boss. That sort of thing, or what?
No, I think it's going to be in addition to. I don't think it's going to.
Okay.
Something that's combined with it. I think it's going to be in addition to. That's why we were all like, well, why not fix the current clan boss and then bring us this new thing for us to do as a collective? That's fine, no problem. But what do you talk? That's why I was always confused. I was always saying, well, is this Hydra going to replace the current clan boss? Because if it is, then okay, I understand you don't want to fix the old one. But if it's not going to replace it, if it's going to be in addition to for us to do as an objective for our clan, then you need to fix the old one too before this new one comes out. Right. So that's why I was always confused about. But again, I haven't had any details. I don't know what this new Hydra is going to be about. I don't know exactly how it's going to play into. But I do know that they have told me this. Now I don't know if it's gonna happen. But they've said that they're going to go now and try to fix the current clan boss.
I so hope that happens.
I would love to. I think with it as well. So talking to them, they basically said to me, this was about champions, but it's much easier to release a new champion than it is to fix a champion. Right. Yeah, so and I guess that's probably the same sort of rule of thumb with the clan boss as well. In effect, it'll be easier to release this new Hydra and make people excited about that than it is to actually fix the broken setup that we've got right now.
Because their coding is so bad, and that's why they were supposed to redo it from the ground up. So again, I don't, we're still kind of in limbo. I would love to see, what I would love to see is a new roadmap, an updated roadmap. Yes. I know the other roadmap did not work. I get that. That'll happen. Things will happen. We might not get everything they talk about on the roadmap, but I haven't seen a huge, even throughout the progression of the roadmap, I didn't see people going crazy saying, okay, this wasn't implemented or this wasn't done on time. At least we knew a little bit of an idea of what was happening, right?
It was a sight into the future. It was something to look forward to. Absolutely.
I would love to see a second roadmap just to have an idea.
Well, we're coming up on the year anniversary, so we might get another one.
Well, do you not think that's what that picture was meant to be? The ice picture with the tower up
with whirling.
Right. Yeah,
I do. But
that was their route,
visual roadmap.
Yeah, but they basically didn't publicize it in the same way because they got so much grief for not following through on their previous stuff.
Yeah.
Where is that picture? When we log in, do we see that picture? Well, now that picture had pretty much the same stuff, though. Is the issue with that?
What was the ice spider, by the way? Did we know?
And it didn't have a timeline. It's probably some boss within the tower, a void tower, or something like that. Maybe.
That's a curse word in these parts. Oh my good God.
Void
Jesus.
Don't you think though, guys? If that void tower does not contain books,
it needs to. You can't.
How could it not contain books? But
if it doesn't.
The new 90-day login doesn't have any books as well, though.
Well, there's a couple at the beginning. There is a couple at the beginning.
Oh, no legendary books, right?
Oh, no legendary books, but yeah. I mean, so what are we thinking? Are we thinking for the Void Tower? Are we thinking 100 levels and every 10 we get a different rarity book or something? If we beat it?
No. Well, if it's anything like all the other games, and I'm talking all the other games out there, then every 10 floors. Within that 100, we will get at least one rare, one epic, and one legendary. And then we'll get one sacred and one void shard. You'll get gems and you'll get coins if it follows suit with everything out there. But we'll have to see. And there's usually a hard version and a normal version to it, so you can get twice of those each month.
So a campaign, kind of difficulties: easy, normal, hard, nightmare, brutal, that kind of thing.
Well, no, there'll only be two. There'll be one normal and one hard or one extreme. And then once you finish 100 floors every 30 days, you'll get you'll reap all those rewards, and it'll kind of flip and be a little different each month. But each month you have 100 floors 2 times that you can go through and get at least one of those books, right? And a sacred shard and a void and gems. It's really great content. I love this type of thing in any game I've played. It's a lot of fun. But them following suit with what other people do isn't normally what they always stick to. So I don't know. And I really, have you guys heard any word about the Void Tower? Yeah, we've seen that picture, but I have not actually heard anything about it.
I've had a little bit of a chat with them about it. It's going back a couple of months now, so it's not latest information. But the chat I had was around the fact that they didn't want it to be exactly the same as what everyone else is doing. Exactly. And they'd had a number of meetings where they basically kept coming up with different ideas. And at that point, they hadn't nailed what the idea was.
And that's what I told them. They're messing up. I told them they are definitely messing up. I said, look, you guys try to outthink and try to do this too hard when there's already and I talked to them too. This was months ago as well, that there's already proven systems in there that work so well. Yes, you can add your little creativity into it, but you really need to stick to the model. And what I found out, or at least I was hinted to, that Calibria, if you play Calibria and you know how their tower works there.
Yeah.
Where you get to pick different, it's a little bit different there. You get to pick a little bit different floor that you do and go through their tower, that they were going to kind of do the same idea. Or at least try to go toward that, or try to make it. And here's the thing, they try to convolute it too much. They want to make their tower floors random. You can only bring in certain champions for this tower floor, or you can only do this. Well, what that does is make it to where people have to have a bigger roster, and instead of you just making good ball stages and whatever else, plus it puts a big strain on that company for programming and making it challenging, and they're trying to get too deep and too involved where they could just bring out some really cool content now and then improve on that later on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just get it out there. I mean,
get it out there. Prove on it later on. Do what everybody else is doing because it's worked for 5 years. It's worked.
So I've got a channel for every area in the game in my Discord. So for potions, dragons. So I have had a padlock on the Void Tower ever since my Discord was created, right?
Oh, man.
I would love to just take off that padlock and just let people go in it and do stuff. But yeah, they need to get it out. They need
it creates a lot of content too, because if you've ever played any of those other games, you'll see videos on each floor of the Void Tower when it flips over, on the boss 100 floor, on what champions you can use to beat each of these. Because usually each 10 floor there's a boss there, but the boss also has different mechanics and can be, can take debuffs, and you come in there differently and make it harder. So I don't know, it'd be a lot of fun. And I love doing that. It'd give us a lot of rewards. It'd be a lot of fun. And then somebody also said in chat, what about books?
Right.
Like in general, what about books? So obviously we need ways to get books.
So now, since when I first started playing, obviously there was no ways to buy stuff in game. Well, you could go to the shop, but not the packs weren't there or anything. I think since events and tournaments have been introduced, obviously I'm spending a bit more in the game now. I have been earning, if that's even a thing in this game, skill books for my champions, and I've only just fused Rotos, and he's only like 3 books away from being max, and I haven't bought any books. So I think a lot more than what it was a year ago, books are available in events and tournaments, but they're not easy to get for the mid to early game play, and they do cost you money if you buy them straight up or participate in a tournament or event. You're still kind of investing in those books. So other than Clan Boss, a new way to get books would be amazing. Maybe they put books in the market every now and then, like Ancient Shards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just
I feel like the market is not utilised at all for anyone who's beyond, like, I don't know, a couple of months into the game.
Yeah. The last time they upgraded that market was for like the 6-star gear or something, and when they introduced that, they changed it up then. But other than that, it's been pretty much the same for nearly 2 years. And I think they said they're going to work on that as well. Like, I think they're listening to ideas for the market. So if anyone's got any ideas for the market, make sure you let them know. So we are coming up towards the 2-hour mark already. Hasn't that time flown already? So we haven't even touched on the fusions or the fusion pairings or really events and tournaments, but we can save that for another time. But what we'll end on, if we can, is patch 1.14. Do we know anything about that, guys? They've obviously mentioned about that this week already. So they mentioned a couple of weeks after we had the hellfire of the bad Battle Pass launch and the accounts getting banned and rolled back, and we had a bad couple of weeks, right? But they then said they're going to try and release content sooner. We've had patch 1.13 out, we've had patch 1.13.5 not so long after, 0.6 was just the other day, and they have talked about 1.14. So
I'm probably not supposed to say anything, but I could tell you everything that's going to come out.
Okay? You don't have to, but we're here for that.
We're going to have a PvP shop for you to get books. They're going to give you a free counterattack champion. You're going to have Void Tower. You're going to have your Hydra boss. You're going to have your artifact sorting, and you're going to have rebalancing in the game. So you'll be set with everything to do here. So it won't be an issue. So look out. 1.14 is coming, guys.
There we go.
Just
Hype.
kidding. None of that is confirmed.
You just sent 60 people going crazy. Like, oh my god, the Void Tower's coming. And, okay, never mind. So, lies. Oh, okay.
All lies. No counterattack champion, no books for you to be able to farm, none of that stuff. That's all things we would love to see. But 1.14, the only thing I've heard about so far is what we put out in our videos about, what was it? I can't even remember right now.
Just champion rework, basically, wasn't it? Some champion rework.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is item filtering coming?
Hundreds. No, well, not that we know of. We know that we're getting an extra 100 spaces.
Right, which that's going to cost you silver, right? That's not going to be free. That is going to cost. So chat have been saying, oh, they're going to give us 100 free slots. I'm like, they're not.
I doubt. We don't know, but I doubt it.
Well, yeah, I doubt it. They did say though it's roster space. Now I really hope that holds true. I hope it really is roster and not storage.
So even when you unlock that roster, you had to unlock that with gems and silver. Even at the beginning, you had to pay the silver to unlock that. So just like the vault, I mean, the last 100 spaces on the vault was like 100 million silver. I don't think it's going to be to that extortionate lengths of cost, but it's not going to be. They're not going to give you 100 free slots. You're going to have to pay for each 10.
I think it's going to be more than 100,000 silver.
I
think it's.
Yeah, but
it's going to cost more.
Each maybe, but I mean the 100 slots for the vault from 200 to 300 was like 100 million silver, right? It was a lot of silver.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay, and for these 100 slots that we're going to get, you're going to have to pay for each 10. And whether it's a small amount of gems or a large amount of silver, it's definitely not going to be free or given to anyone. I'm guessing.
Well, I think it's gonna be a crazy cost. I don't see them cutting back or going lower. Right? They can't go under. I mean, there's no way they're gonna go fewer and lesser. They should just standardize it though. It should be 20 gems per advancement. It should be a standard, 50, 100, 100,000 or something. It should be a standard amount instead of keep escalating. Because hey, think about it this way: they have to add more space. 100 is a kick in the bucket, right? We've had so many champions. We've needed space for 6 months or more. They're going to have to do more space. We need probably right now they could add 500 slots.
Right.
That way we could have one of every champion. We could have, and just think about it this way. It's not just about having one of every champion. Plus, you need room to summon. You need room to move champions around. And you obviously need room if you're already making food. If you're making 4 stars max, 5 stars max, and storing them, then you need room for that too. You need room to operate, to just play the game and enjoy the game.
I'll give you a quick fact, yeah. So there was a pack that came out today. 41 ancient shards. They got this double summon or 10 times 10 chance for Valk, who I really want.
Yep.
And I would have bought the pack if I had space, but I couldn't be bothered to move champions around. So they lost 100 quid today. They lost £100 because
they have lost more than that from me over the last 2 months.
And
because of this issue alone, just this issue alone has really broken it for me of not being able to summon or store champions or do that. So I'm the same as you, Hades. I have not spent any money on the game because I don't have room to summon and move these champions around, and I don't want to be bothered. I really don't. And I'll give you one even better. Last night I was doing summonings for when Valkyrie started.
Yep.
I was doing summonings for the event, and I had a couple people with 90, with 200 that had room for it, right? With 200 had room for it. Then I did a summons for somebody else for 200, 222. And then after that, they wanted to take 56,000 gems and convert them into ancient shards for us to pull. So I converted them over. I had 600, 580, whatever it was. And I started looking at their inventory, moving around. And really, I was only an hour and 30 minutes into my stream. I told everybody, I was like, look, I cannot do this. I'm not moving around all those champions. I'm not trying to make space. We're going to have to eat epics then. We're going to have to eat rares nonstop. And it's going to take me 2 hours. It's going to take me 2 hours to even do all these summons. I was like, guys, I just can't do it. I told everybody have a great night, and I logged off the stream.
Right. I think people are doing that for dungeons as well, like Spider. So I've put like 10,000 energy into Spider over the last few days. I've sold everything that's 5-star rare or low or whatever, but now I've literally got 700 5-star epic, 6-star legendary gear, which I don't even know where to start selling. So I just stopped putting energy into Spider. Really, I just don't want to go sort through that.
I don't mind that because that is that's always going to be something you need in this game. You're going to have to sort through that gear. You're going to have to look at it. Star sell, anything 6-star keep with speed substats, or if it's a ring, whatever else. There's a way to do that to where you can actually lower down the amount of space we have. I actually think the amount of space we have for gear is pretty sufficient.
Yeah, but it's the same trouble. Once you're jam packed, it's the effort of like, I've got to manage that now, and it's like you don't want to do that. That's just an hour of your life at least if you're going to go through all of it.
Right. But with the tavern, I can't even I mean, honestly, when you get those many epic, and the way that this worked out, I can't even to go in there and bring out another epic to feed to those epics if you want to do it that way, to take 3 stars and to make them into 4 stars. Honestly, to even summon 200 from where I'm at right now would really take me a good 5 hours and micromanaging and doing everything else. And that's even if I could do it. And really, that's me like summoning 10 at a time, then going back through. It's one thing if I could summon 200 and then go back through all of them, right? But if you're summoning 10, trying to work out what you can do then summoning 10 more, trying to work out. It's too much. It's way too much.
Okay.
And they're losing so much money over that.
I mean, they're losing money over a lot of things that we've been talking about. I mean, it's lots of quality of life stuff which we'd love to be implemented, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there it is, guys. We've hit literally 2 hours. Like, it is flown past. We could have talked by another 2 by the sounds of it. Like, we didn't even talk about half the topics which I got planned out. So
I just started my first beer. I need to start drinking at 7 a.m.
Right. So yeah, it's been pretty amazing. I've really enjoyed tonight. So thank you both to obviously incredible John and you both to jumping in tonight. It's been amazing. Is there anything you'd like to sign off? How can people get in touch? Where can people watch your videos? And yeah,
I'll be quick, and then Hades can go. Hey, thank you all so much for having us. I just want you to know that we do love the game. playing throughout this. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and not just taken our criticism as, oh my God, this game sucks. We love the game. We want it to be great. We want new things in here. I want to play this game every day and love it as much as I love any other game. Like, this is my top game. So I really hope these things get implemented, but we're all here for you. And thank you so much for the community. It's great. That's it.
Awesome.
Okay. And I mean, similar to what Stu says there, I absolutely love this game. That's why I'm doing content on the game. And I actually really love the way the community are like so passionate about the game and actually pull together. If you guys want to catch my channel, I'm going to actually post this on my channel as well. But if you guys want to check me out, yeah, just come and grab me, HELLHADES at YouTube. That's basically what I've been doing. I will stream at some point, but I'm not there yet. But yeah, look, it's been really good fun, and actually can't wait for the next one. It's been really cool.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, thank you very much. Guys, their information is going to be in the description below on YouTube, so make sure you go and click on their channels, show some love, hit the subscriptions, hit the likes, all that good jazz. It's been fantastic. So that is basically our origins of the game and the history of Plarium over the last year or so. As we go forward, will be more of a weekly roundup, some interesting videos that may have caught the eye, any updates that come out, any notifications from Plarium themselves. We're going to be basically here for you guys each and every week, and we're going to just be as helpful as we can and talk about the game that we all know and love for so long. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have everyone here tonight. Long may it continue. I hope you all stay safe in the crazy world that we're living in right now. Look after yourselves and just stay safe, everyone. All right, thank you very much, and we'll hopefully see you all next week. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.